Get a great deal on the new Ridge lineup, or take advantage of Big Adventure for less with savings on our rugged Terex side-by-sides. There's no better time to save on our exciting lineup of Kawasaki vehicles. Visit your local Kawasaki dealer today. Garner's Motorsports, 320 North Del Paso in Hobbs.
Hi, I'm Laura Boyd of Rio Grace Landscaping and Nursery in Lovington, and we are ready for Mother's Day. Take the guesswork out of gift giving this year by ordering a custom-arranged planter pot for that special mom in your life, with choices like patio tree roses, hydrangea, peonies that classically bloom around Mother's Day each year, and many more varieties. Call us today at 575-396-7464 and stop by Crockett Road, just north of Lovington on the Tatum Highway. Rio Grace, your Mother's Day destination.
Lee County, it's the largest gun and knife show 505 Productions has ever had in Hobbs, and it's this weekend at the Lee County Event Center. Saturday, April 27th from 9 to 5, and Sunday, April 28th from 10 to 4. Over 195 tables available to shop with guns, knives, ammo, scopes and other gun accessories, jewelry, hides, gold and silver, 2A shirts and merch, and much more. Admission is just $7 per day or $10 for both. Kids 12 and under are free. This is the last show before the 7-day waiting period goes into effect. Don't miss the 505 Productions Gun Show this Saturday and Sunday at the Lee County Event Center, 5101 North Lovington Highway in Hobbs.
Southeast New Mexico weather.
Already a Tuesday afternoon across southeast New Mexico with temperatures in Roswell at 93 degrees, down to 285 to Carlsbad, Artesia at 92 degrees under a sunny sky. The wind picking up just a bit in Gusty, and 89 degrees in Hobbs, Lovington. Well, tomorrow a few high clouds begin to move over the area. 86 degrees in Lovington with 91 degrees in Carlsbad, Artesia, and 89 degrees in Roswell. For W105 FM, I'm meteorologist Ron Herberts.
Your country plays on W105.
You guys ready?
Be in the Breakfast Club, broadcasting from the Inn of the Mountain Gods studio. Text line at 877-396-W105. Powered by Amigo Machinery, your Kubota dealer. Question of the day brought to you by Lovington Auto Supply, your Napa dealer.
And I want to make sure I get the quote exactly right.
You seem particularly triggered right now.
Happy Tuesday, everybody.
It's National Lovers Day.
You love so much.
I love you.
I love you too.
I love you.
I love you too. I love you so much. My love.
There is so much love in this world.
We are so very much in love.
So much love.
My lover.
My lover.
To my lover.
Happy National Lovers Day.
Showtime.
And good morning to you. 608 Morning Show, of course. We're broadcasting from the End of the Mountain God studio. Text line 877-396-W105. You're a Kubota dealer, Amigo Machinery, online at amigo-machinery.com. Question of the day, brand new trend going on right now. Men yoga pants. Men's yoga pants. Yay or nay? We'll go around the room, get everybody's opinion on the yoga pants. By the way, question of the day, being brought to you by Lovington Auto Supply, your Napa dealer. So much more than just parts. They've got lots of experience, and they have no problem sharing that experience with you. So check them out today. Men's yoga pants. Blake?
No.
Men's yoga pants.
No. Just say no.
Tom, you're okay with men's yoga pants?
I don't like yogurt. Did you just say you don't like
It's not
yogurt?
Yogurt. It's yoga. It's actually a stretching exercise.
Oh. Now, I am going to say I'm okay with tights, like as far as like cycling tights, like if you wear them under your shorts or something like that. I'm good with that, but yoga pants, no.
Well, I mean, the new yoga pants, I don't know if anybody has noticed, because I'm at the gym every day, and
I'm okay with women.
They make them, they make them that the butt looks. I don't know what that texturing is called, and I haven't been brave enough to ask. But I'll keep working on it. I'll keep working on it.
Yeah, just know,
English Day.
Women wear yoga pants, and we appreciate that.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, well, with some women, I appreciate them.
Right. I mean, yeah. Most.
Yes.
Let's say this. Most women, you can appreciate them because yoga pants can make iffy look good.
Yeah. Oh, no doubt. Yeah, there is a breathable texture, and I don't know what that's called. It looks like little bubbles or something. And yoga pants. But for dudes, no. I just don't think yoga pants are good.
Nope.
Today is English Language Day. Tom, we'll both be trying to speak the English language today. German Beer Day. International Creators Day. Nose Picking Day. International Nose Picking Day.
Gold digger.
Lovers Day. You know, in some country, nose picking is not like a nasty thing.
What is it called?
Gold.
It's totally acceptable to pick your nose.
Just don't pick someone else's, right?
No, yeah, well, that's totally different.
Yeah.
Lovers Day going on, Movie Theater Day. Also, National Lost Dog Awareness Day, National Picnic Day, St. George's Day, School Bus Drivers Day. We appreciate you guys so much. Talk Like Shakespeare Day, Start a Passover today, World Book and Copyright Day, and World Book Night Day, and World Laboratory Day happening all day today. Weather is going to be nice. In fact, we're close to 90. Quick check of the weather being brought to you by Main Trailer Sales. Don't go camping without Main Trailer Sales, serving southeast New Mexico. Largest inventory of fifth wheels and toy haulers and ultralights, new and pre-owned, and they're all up on that website, maintrailersalesinc.com. If you're working in the patch and living in a hotel, take that per diem and buy yourself a fifth wheel and pay that thing off with the per diem, and then it's yours. They got close to 70 years experience, and they love taking care of folks. You don't stay in business 70-plus years without treating people the right way. They offer great customer service and great deals. MainTrailerSalesInc.com, 575-622-1751. MainTrailerSalesInc.com. 89 and sunny throughout the day. Winds are going to be less than 15 miles an hour. 54 tonight, and then 87 tomorrow. We do have some winds kicking back up. Looks like Thursday into Friday. Quick check of the weather being brought to you by Seminole Siding and Construction, a trusted name across southeast New Mexico. Exceptional construction and siding services. They offer a great service. And look, they stand on their work. In fact, they have their own expectations. You have your expectations when somebody comes out and does work on your home. They have their own expectations that are far greater than your expectations. 575-391-1430. They can take care of commercial metal buildings, industrial metal buildings, shingle roof, metal roof, siding. Also, they can take care of doors and windows, and the list goes on and on. Check them out at Seminole Siding at Construction.com or 575-391-1430. Tom A. is in charge of the texts.
All right, good morning. And Kevin is bad enough that they're trying to feminize the U.S. male citizens. We don't need no men yoga pants.
Well, the Nike uniforms for the Olympics.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the men's uniforms are it's right there. Some people will call them tights. Some people will call those yoga pants. Yes.
Well, if you're doing a sport, right? I kind of get it. You know, you want the Lycra to stretch and be able to not have the wind resistance, and they do wind tunnel things and all that. And I get that. If you're in a sport like cyclists, like professional cyclists, right? Sure. You know, I get the wind drag resistance and all that kind of stuff. But just for every day, for normal folks, no. Just no.
And this text says, no yoga pants for men and no yoga pants for women. that weigh over 150 pounds, says the texter.
Damn. Now, I would just say I have seen women that are
bigger,
big women that look good in yoga pants.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
they they're a little larger. They're Tom, what would you call that? Big boned?
Yeah, big bone. Yeah,
and they look good in yoga pants.
Yes,
I like them.
So
I like mine with a little meat on them.
That's what I said.
Please don't stop.
Most women, and I will say it that way because you know who doesn't fit that category, look good in yoga pants. You know, it's
like Lizzo should not be able to wear yoga pants.
Correct. Well, it's like, you remember the Rocky jeans, the women who would wear Rocky jeans. It made their posterior look good.
Did it?
And I don't know why they did away with those, but they women need to wear those.
They need to bring those back. You know, every once in a while, bell bottoms have come back.
Yep.
A lot of things. The Rocky jeans need to make a return for sure. All right, 6:16. We got the tweet of the day coming up in a second. Thought for the day still to come. A lot of things to talk about. Trump gets a win yesterday. And I'm done calling these trials. I'm going to call it trial number 1 and trial number 2. Is that fair?
Sure.
Just for giggles. Trial number 1, trial number 2. So we'll talk about that in a second. 79-year-old Michael Douglas defended Joe Biden seeking a second term in office, waving aside the concerns that many voters have about the president's age. And Michael Douglas said with a straight face, which proves that he's a really good actor, he said that Joe is as sharp as a tack. And I agree with him, only if it's a tic-tac.
Right. I was going to say, what kind of tack is he talking about?
Tic-tac.
Okay.
Yeah, tic-tac. Red Lobster reportedly considering filing Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection after a significant blow financially, including $11 million loss on the endless shrimp. I'm just telling you, if Tom likes shrimp, he would have bankrupted him already.
If Tom liked shrimp, the buffet at the Casa thing on Saturday would have been wiped out.
Yeah.
Because on one side they had sliders, and on the other they had great Gulf shrimp, man. They were, you know those good size ones. They had a ton of them, and they were really good.
So, by the way, would you call Red Lobster a shell corporation, Tom?
No.
No? Okay. I mean, this is incredibly sad news to couples in their 60s that love going to Red Lobster, especially for lunch.
Right.
Cheddar Bay biscuits are
done.
Yeah.
They're awesome.
Oh, the biscuits are awesome.
They are.
Yeah. They're not going to know where to go for birthdays and anniversaries. I'm just saying they will not know. So, Chapter 11. That doesn't mean they're closing. They'll probably close several stores, but they're not going to shut them all down.
No, they'll reorganize because there's so many places that are far away from the coast that you can't get any kind of seafood.
Yeah.
And they're kind of one of the only ones you can.
I mean, I'll eat seafood away from the ocean with the exception of raw oysters.
Right.
I am not eating raw. I have a 200-mile.
Right.
200 miles. If it's 200 miles from the water, I'm not eating them.
Right.
Because especially if you ever got food poisoning from raw oysters, it is bad.
Mm-hmm.
So 200 miles, I'm not eating them. I'm not going to even try them, and I love raw oysters. I'm just not going to do it.
Don't get me wrong. Fresh at the coast is where it's at, but I will. I will do the frozen seafood further in because you just know it's different.
Yeah. The wife gets me right off the boat shrimp. I eat shrimp 3 times a week.
Yep.
Right off the boat.
Yep.
Their boats are a little different. But
growing up in Port A,
Caitlin Clark. Have you guys seen the hate for Caitlin Clark? And I'm just going to say it. 90% of the athletes, male and female, are African American when it comes to basketball. Is that would we agree on that? 90%, 90. I would say 90+%.
That's fair. Yeah.
So, one of the last shows that Gail and Charles Barkley did, she called her trash.
What?
Now, what has Caitlin Clark done to be trash? And you know, it's all about applauding black folks. Let's just applaud folks. And Caitlin Clark has not done anything to be called trash.
No.
Antonio Brown of the NFL, she actually blocked Antonio Brown off her social media accounts because he would go on there and say she's not that good and this and that. And look, she is the best college basketball player to come out, I want to say, ever.
Okay.
And just because she's white, you're not going to applaud. I'm just going to be honest with you. This shows who the real racists are.
Yes.
It really does.
Yes.
It really does. So you don't like her because she's white. I hate to tell you, that's racist.
Yes.
I have never not liked a player because of the color of their skin.
No, if they are the best player in their sport,
they're the best player.
They're the best player.
Right. And she's got a boyfriend.
No doubt.
It does. Her boyfriend doesn't matter, Tom.
What does?
What about a boyfriend, Tom?
Well, she's got a boyfriend.
I mean, who gives a damn about her boyfriend?
We're talking about being the best player. That has nothing to do with it.
Well, she's not lesbian.
Oh my God.
What? She has a boyfriend. Good for her. What?
Who cares?
What does that have to do with the conversation?
Well,
and even if she was a lesbian, who cares? That's really no one else's business.
Well, she wouldn't.
Who said anything about her being a lesbian?
Well,
Tom did.
Now, here's the deal: if Nike wouldn't have signed her, if she wasn't straight.
What?
Yeah.
Nike has signed a lot of people that aren't straight.
Right.
Do you understand where Nike is located? Where's the headquarters for Nike, Tom?
Oregon.
One of the most liberal states in the United States. I'm starting to really worry about you. Are you taking any drugs lately?
I mean, you're going to hear that. You're going to hear that narrative.
Are you taking drugs? That's the question.
Look, I like her.
Can we go back to the actual conversation?
Well, I don't think it's racist, guys. I just think she's the best, and people are jealous of her.
Well, thank you for catching up.
All them NBA girl players are jealous because they don't have that $28 million deal that she got.
I'm here to say the stuff that Charles Barkley and Gail said, racist. The stuff that Antonio Brown has said, racist.
Yep.
What's the girl that used to be on ESPN because she was too racist and they kicked her off? Jamel King. Jamel Hill.
Yes.
Racist. She also said terrible things about Caitlin Clark, all because she's a white player. You guys have 98% of the league, and you can't take one white girl?
Well, and it's not about the race. It's about she's the best player.
Let her be the best player, and let her get on the court with everybody else. And enough. And by the way, she has a boyfriend. I'm just throwing that out there.
Yeah.
She has a boyfriend. Thank you. Drug cartels supposedly experimenting with drone deliveries. How lazy has the drug cartels gotten that they're using drones now? And legendary Los Angeles quarterback Roman Gabriel died last Saturday. He was 83 years young. Terry Anderson, a Mideast correspondent for Associated Press that was held in Lebanon for 7 years, passed away also over the weekend. He was 76 years of age. All right, I want you to keep up. All the protests going on. They were at MIT last night.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, the New York PD was called in to Columbia.
Mm-hmm.
But there's one sign that is being held up with all the people. One sign that kind of got my attention. And if you think this is about Hamas, if you think this is about the Jewish state, if you think it's anything but about causing an uproar and confusion. And the sign says, capitalism is dead.
They want
capitalism is dead. That's what this is all about.
Yep.
Capitalism is dead. They want to kill America as it is. Blake, what do you think?
Yes, that's why they shout death to America.
Yeah.
And I don't care I don't care what your cause is, but if you're in this country and you have a sign that says death to America, death to capitalism, capitalism is dead, all those things, you're a terrorist and need to be treated as such.
And you are immediately my enemy.
Yeah.
You are my enemy.
I don't care what your cause is.
I don't care. You are my enemy from that point on. Suspect in the recent drive-by shooting will remain held without bond as he awaits his case following the April 9th pretrial detention and preliminary hearing in Roswell. The 5th Judicial Court yesterday ruled that 20-year-old Martin Saltero III will remain in custody. Now, you remember he has been charged with, along with 2 other individuals, with murdering a man and firing from a motor vehicle. By the way, he's 20 years old, Martin Saltero, and I've talked about this. Look, his other brother is dead. His other brother is one brother is dead. He was a person killed at Walmart. And then the other brother is locked up. The whole family, the entire family has a rap sheet as tall as, like 5 stories tall. And this kid is 20 years old and is on parole at the time of his arrest. 20 years old and on parole. So the judge said, based on your criminal history, we are going to keep you locked up. Anyway, he's charged with first-degree murder. Thank you for keeping him locked up.
Yes.
46 reports and 22 investigations. CYFD faces lawsuits over the alleged mishandling of child abuse cases. This is a slap in the face. This governor promised us 5 years ago that she was going to turn around the broken system of CYFD. By the way, it needs to be crashed, burned to the ground, and start over. In fact, you can begin by calling it Child Protective Services.
Right.
Because that's what it should be. It has nothing to do with families. It should be protecting the kids.
Correct. And not only did she promise to make it transparent and better, she made it less transparent and worse.
Yep. Yeah, I remember that software they were using that the text messages disappeared. Yeah. Until the whistleblowers came out and talked about it.
Yep.
So we got 46 reports, 22 investigations.
It's called Slack, by the way.
What's the name of it?
Slack. And,
Slack.
Yeah, and they try to get they try to get people that they want to communicate with to communicate with them on Slack, like to other journalists and stuff. They'll say, hey, sign up for Slack so we can talk on Slack, because if they talk to you that way, you don't get to keep the record of it.
Oh, gotcha. New Mexico Children, Youth, and Families Department facing yet another lawsuit. 6 defendants, investigators, and supervisors within CYFD are accused of dropping the ball when it came to 2 kids whose parents, Terry Sanchez and James Stewart, were accused of sexually and physically abusing them. Stewart is serving prison time for prostituting his kids. Lawsuit brought by the children's current guardians claims CYFD did not investigate dozens of reports of abuse properly that dated all the way back to 2004. 2004. So we've got 46 reports, 22 investigations, and the kids were put back into the hands of the people that they were prostituting, that they were prostituting their kids out. Like I said, the whole thing needs to be just broke down and started over.
Well, and because under this governor, and it's had problems for a while, it's not just her fault, but under this governor, her priority is to return the children to where they came from instead of protecting them.
And that is a problem. It should be about protecting the kids.
Yes.
Biden administration making Earth Day announcement, $7 billion in federal solar power grants. $7 billion. Look, this president spends money like no other president ever. We're gonna get into that. We will. I got the audio from AOC. I don't know if you've noticed, they're counting on AOC. The young vote. They're trying to get the young vote, so they moved over to AOC. I'm going to get to that. Judge declared a mistrial in the case of the Arizona rancher that was charged with murdering a Mexican national on his border property. Tom, what's your thought on that?
That's probably the right decision.
What does it mean, Tom? Well, it's a mistrial, so what does that mean?
They could try the guy again, but it just didn't have the jury couldn't come up with a decision.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's
so. If 100%. They try him again, isn't that double jeopardy?
No, not in a mistrial.
No,
that's why they declared a mistrial.
So George Kelly, the 71-year-old man, is accused of shooting somebody that was on his land.
Mm-hmm.
And the case centered around the death of Mexican national Gabriel Bomita, and who was shot on the 170-acre cattle ranch near Nogales, Arizona. And Kelly's defense has entered that the prosecuting argument said, look, this guy was unarmed, and suggested that cartel interference kind of mired the death investigation. Long story short, Mr. Kelly's attorney came out and said, wait a second here. Wait a second. There is no evidence that the person, talking about the man that was killed, had benign purposes and was coming to this country for just a better life, since he's been arrested a number of times involving drugs and working for the cartel. So pretty much they mistrial. We'll see if the guy is 71 years old. 71 years old. And at what point do you have the right to protect yourself? That's the bigger question.
Yep.
It is. All right, we're going to get to the tweet of the day. U.S. Bureau for Land Management is reconsidering a plan to lease land in Eddy and Lee counties to oil and gas companies. Now the BLM is looking for public input on the idea. Back in 2021, the BLM approved leases of about 6,000 acres of land in New Mexico. Then Citizens for Caring for the Future sued the BLM over that plan, and now the lawsuit remains pending, but they would like to at least get some feedback into maybe opening up the leases again. Deadline for comment is coming up May 21st, so if you want to make some comments, please, you can go to the BLM website to find out more on that. Trump trial to resume. And the gag order was a big question yesterday. You know what's amazing to me? The district attorney for Manhattan, Alvin Bragg, can say whatever he wants.
Mm-hmm.
But Trump can't respond to what he said. So if I was Trump, just fine me. Just fine me. You want to fine me $1,000? Go ahead and fine me $1,000.
Well,
not a problem.
And if you were ever under the assumption that this is a fair trial, and this should definitely tell you that it's not, because in a fair trial, you can't say to one side, you can't say anything, and to the other side, you can say whatever you want.
Right.
Yeah.
There's nothing fair about that.
Agreed. Representative John Carter, Republican from Texas, says anti-Israeli protests vandalized his office in Texas and vowed to find the party. He's like, I'm going to find the parties that are responsible for this. Photo, Blake, you saw the photo.
Yeah.
With blood all over the place, with Free Gaza.
Spray painted on the sidewalk.
Yeah.
There's it's probably red paint. It's probably not really blood, but the way that it's spattered up there is,
it looks like blood.
Yeah, and basically the message is, that we want to free Gaza and kill every Jew. That's basically their message.
And you know what? They're not that far off. As we see what's going on to Jewish folks, all these folks are down with DEI. Tom, what does DEI stand for?
Diversified, I forgot what the other one is.
Diversity.
Yeah. Equity, insurance.
There you go. There you go.
Inclusion.
There you go.
Inclusion. Ian Omar's daughter.
They're the only side that wants to commit genocide. They're like the Democrats. They scream that the other side wants to do something, but they are the only ones that want to do genocide.
And you know what's crazy with DEI? They want DEI because it gets them a seat at the table. But they don't want the Jews to have a seat at the table. The only way DEI works if everybody gets a seat at the table.
Right.
And I'm not a backer of DEI, but if you're going to...
And it's not just the Jews they don't want to have a seat at the table. They don't want white
Asians either.
They don't want Asians. They don't want white people. They don't want... There's a whole list.
No.
They
don't want any.
Yeah, they're totally racist, and they want to commit genocide.
Ian Omar's daughter is whining that she is homeless and hungry after being suspended from that elite college. Well, you know, there are life lessons to learn, and I've had many life lessons that I had to learn. And, you know, I've had to sleep in my car. I had to go without meals. And maybe you should learn. Maybe you should learn from your mistakes. She's on scholarship, $90,000 a year, school dorm and dining room and all. She's on scholarships. She's crying. I have 4 shirts and 2 pair of pants now. I have no food. I'm completely homeless. Well,
you have a mother.
Life has consequences.
Yeah, and you have a mother.
Yeah, I would think you'd go and your mom would take care of you. Why are you destitute? All right, we're going to talk about 700 citizens could be affected in a gun permit scandal. If you got your concealed carry, this could affect you. I'm going to get to that. And Texas plays a baseball game that is the longest prep game in history. And Biden handing out and the EPA pushing a truck rule that could hurt you if you're in the trucking business. We'll get to that coming up in just a second. Morning Show this morning being brought to you by Rig Outfitters and the Home Store. You can find them in the Broadmoor Mall. Extensive collection of FR jeans, coveralls, gloves, shirts, work boots, steel toe boots. They've got them all. And they have furniture, appliance, and electronics, all with zero down financing. Rig Outfitters and the Home Store right next to Scrub Outfitters. They're in the Broadmoor Mall. They've got the largest selection of medical scrubs in 100 miles. Healing Hands, Medcoutures, Peaches. They've got them all. Also, comfy compression socks and shoes. Get into Scrub Outfitters and check them out. Rig Outfitters right next door in the Broadmoor Mall. Tom on the text, then the tweet of the day.
All right, so Nashville legend, this text is saying, George Strait weighed in on Beyoncé. Playing dress up don't make you country, he says. And I listened to it for as long as I could. Strait told us in an exclusive interview the best part of it was when it ended. And Strait said he'll fight against the album receiving nominations at any country award show. Says the
Beyonce.
Yeah,
Beyonce.
That ain't Beyonce. I always call her Beyonce. But she likes to bounce up and down.
And so I call you Turd Avery's.
You guys see that Russia hacked into the treatment plant, water treatment plant in Muleshoe, Texas? No. Muleshoe's right around the corner, isn't it? Next to us somewhere.
What was that?
Muleshoe's is right down the corner. Next to us somewhere.
Yeah, Muleshoe, Texas is right down on the corner. Yeah.
What was it about Muleshoe?
That the Russians hacked into their water treatment plant.
Oh. Wow.
Yeah. And if they want to
I'll have to go look that up.
Yeah. And if they want to free Gaza, they need to give it back to the Romans, which would be Spain, and they don't want that place, says the text this morning. And George Strait didn't say that, says another text.
I do believe George Strait. I read the interview where he said the best part of the song was when it's ended. And I don't know George Strait personally, but I have a friend of mine that's friends with George Strait, Chris Story. And Chris Story has played backup for George Strait, has been to all his ranches. And George likes to drink some beer. And that sounds like something he would say. I've heard the stories.
And how can you charge a U.S. citizen for killing someone who is not a U.S. citizen? This one text is asking.
I don't know. I mean, when the country's being invaded, don't we have a right to protect ourselves?
You would think.
I think so.
And by the way, this is not going to get any better in time for the election.
No.
It's not going to get any better. Wait for it.
So speaking of the mule shoe thing, there was apparently, it was in January, but they just kind of has started reporting it. But over on the AP, they have a thing that said it was one of 3 small towns in the Panhandle, including Hale Center, Muleshoe, and I can't find the other one on here. But they believe that it was leaked to a Russian hacktivist group. So that's hackers who are activists.
That's not the first time. Look, we have had the federal government get hacked into.
Oh yeah. But that I think that they were what this story on the AP is alluding to is that they did it remotely so that they could see if they could, so they could wreak havoc later if they needed to.
And one more text me from John this morning. Good morning, guys. Biden says he created 30 million new jobs. Of course, you're spending money like a drunk sailor. The freaking idiot doesn't know what he did yesterday. Every time he spends billions of dollars, he thinks he's creating, or rather, he's cutting the deficit. You freaking nut job, says John.
All right, let me get to the thought of the day. Thought of the day being brought to you by Wakefield Oil. 35-plus years of service in southeast New Mexico. Quality products, excellent service, dependable. Look, they'll get out there and deliver to you on-road or off-road. If you're in the patch, not a problem. Need diesel, they've got you covered. DEF value, unleaded interstate batteries, they will deliver to you. Go to the website, wakefieldoil.com. Thought for the day in memory of Mr. Wendell Wakefield. Thought for the day this morning is only a woman who has delivered a baby without epidural can truly understand a guy with a UTI. It's my thought for the day this morning. All right, let me get to the tweet of the day. Tom, you're not going to like the tweet of the day.
Uh-oh, what's up?
So Ron White is on the Joe Rogan show and talked about your preacher. I have sinned. I found $60,000 in the wall of my church. Joel Osteen. So we're going to get to that. And tweet of the day this morning being brought to you by King Driving Academy, 1430 West Bender in Hobbs. 4-week CDL training school. They offer 2 weeks of theory, 2 weeks of driving school. And it's taught by a state-certified CDL instructor. No computer, no books. Everything is taught hands-on. Right now, mention be in the Breakfast Club or W105, and they're going to save you they're going to take $500 off the cost of enrolling in the school. 575-441-7835, 441-7835. They're very flexible. They offer night classes and more. King Driving Academy. Check them out today. Tweet of the day being brought to you by King Driving Academy. Joe Osteen, Ron White's talking about you.
Those pastors, those mega churches, they need to be looked at under the biggest, brightest light you can look at. Joel Osteen. The Mattress Max makes a much better, to me, if you want an example of how Christ wanted us to live, it would be Mattress Max and not Joel Osteen.
I don't know who Mattress Max is.
Well, during the big floods in Houston just a few years ago, people were literally dying in the street. Mattress Max owns a huge furniture store. Come up here. He opened them up. Sleep on them couches. I don't care, and I'll find a way to make food for you guys. But Joel Osteen wouldn't even let him in the door because they just had the carpets redone at his cathedral church, and he didn't want people tracking in there.
He defended not opening Lakewood Church in Houston to Harvey victims. He defended it. It's so obvious. Like, doing something like that is so obvious. You have a private jet. It's so obvious. You have a mansion. It's so obvious. How much does that watch? this is so obvious. What you're doing is so obvious.
So one man opens his stores, and he's got like 200 stores in Houston, and says, come trash the place. I mean, sleep on the sofas. He's never going to be able to resell those sofas.
He didn't say come trash the place. He said,
but think about it. I mean, you got people, they have no running water, and they're sleeping on the sofas. You're not going to be able to sell that as new.
No.
So they're muddy because it's flooding. That's what I mean by trashing. Okay. And come sleeping out of stores, and we'll actually try to find out, to feed you.
Mm-hmm. He brought in the HEB took trailers because HEB is better than FEMA.
They partnered with them. Mm-hmm. So that's a great example of what a Christian should do. Tom, do you think Joel Osteen's example is a good example of being a Christian?
Well, I have to have the rest of the story on that.
What do you mean? You need the rest of the story. One guy opened his business up, and the pastor, the church that's supposed to open up, locks him out.
But what's the rest of the story? Like Paul Harvey used to say,
there is no rest of the story. That's the damn story.
There's got to be the rest of the story, but I don't think he would lock out people like
that. See, that goes back to the same thing, and I equate this with what happened during COVID. Pastors who actually shut and locked the doors on their churches so the people had nowhere to go during COVID are the same as not allowing hurricane victims into the church. The church is supposed to be there for you to go to.
Yeah, I had the Catholic Church tell me that I had to put a mask on. And I said, look, we either believe in God or we don't believe in God.
Right.
I'm trusting, I'm living my life, and I believe that God's going to protect me. So, get away from me. Leave me alone. I embarrassed the hell out of my wife.
Well, there are a lot, and I'm not going to say that someone is or isn't, but there are a lot of pretend Christians out there.
Yep. Representative Gerald Connolly of Virginia talking about the Ukraine border and talking about our border. Listen to what he says about the Ukraine border.
Some say, well, we have to deal with our border first. The Ukrainian-Russian border is our border.
What? Wait, let me play that again.
Russian border is our border.
No, it's not. It is not our border.
Look, they weren't even officially our ally.
We wouldn't even be in this shape if it wouldn't be for the relationship that Hunter and Joe had with the Ukrainians. Mm-hmm. And Burisma. That's the true story. Students at MIT are now protesting. Here's some of that last night.
Our administrators the power that we hold, and we can't give it up. We are the ones who run this campus, who make the campus what it is. We hold the power, so we have to show them that we won't back down until they meet our demands.
You're not running anything, and you probably won't be running anything. I'm just saying. In the future, people like her are going to be the ones that are running this country? By God.
We have the power.
Yeah, we're the ones running this place.
Don't think so.
Lock them all up. Lock every one of them up. Columbia University Jewish professor locked out. They canceled his key card. Here's some of that.
Are we not letting the media in? Your key card. What? Can you back up, please? My card has been deactivated? Why? Can you back up, please? Wait. Everybody, my card has been deactivated. This is Cass Holloway, the COO. This is Gerald Lewis. They were in the meeting where I asked them if Hamas is a terror organization, and they couldn't say that it is a terrorist organization. Why? I'm a professor. Why can I shy? Hey!
So they get to stay.
Mm-hmm.
And the Hamas gets to stay, but the Jewish professor, who is a tenured professor, he doesn't get to stay. Anybody else find that really, really strange?
Yeah, all these terrorists, only a portion of who actually go to school there get to stay. but the guy who actually works there doesn't.
No, he didn't get the stag. All right, we're going to get into Earth Day coming up next. 6:49 p.m. The Breakfast Club. Our number 877-396-W105. Roadrunner Grill and Barbecue reminding you they're serving up breakfast right now. Get in there for breakfast. Burritos are some of the breakfast platters. Oh, I love the 2 eggs and the jalapeno bacon and the hash browns. And give me the fluffy pancakes on the side. Please. Please, I'm hungry.
You're making me
hungry. I am
hungry.
hungry. So get in there and get your breakfast. Also come back for lunch. They offer a great lunch menu along with barbecue. And you can call in advance, 575-736-2573. Want them to prepare meals for everybody on location or in the office? Not a problem. 575-736-2573. Roadrunner Grill and Barbecue, 811 West Main. And Artesia. We'll get to the gun permit scandal coming up next. Tom on the text, 10 away from 7.
You know, this is Frank chiming in. Ukraine is a Nazi hideout for many years from Germany. They crossed from Poland, says Frank this morning. Mm-hmm. And Biden didn't create new jobs. People went back to work after COVID, this text is saying. His numbers for new jobs match the unemployment rate, that according to that text. Oh, by the way, that incident of the water happened in Indiana again. I hadn't even heard about it, guys. So.
Well, they're kind of keeping it on down low apparently, so I'll have to look into that more.
And that's probably the federal government want to keep it on the down low.
Yeah. Well, because they don't. You know, even if it's Russians or whoever, they don't want to really broadcast that. So every wannabe hacker says, "Let me try."
Yeah, that we can make some money off of this.
And then one texter says that they had to dump the water there in Muleshoe. After that,
no, it said thousands of gallons.
Thousands of gallons
were that's what the hack did.
Yeah.
It dumped thousands of gallons.
Oh, so it opened up the spigot.
Yep.
Yeah.
Gotcha. All right, price of oil, Tom. Price of oil being brought to you by Spinnaker Oilfield Cementers and Cud Energy Services. Together, they are hiring a bunch of positions. They're looking for equipment operators, CDL required. They're looking for pressure pump hands. If you're experienced pressure pump hands, they are looking for you. They're looking for service supervisor and training program candidates, CDL required. Diesel mechanics, electric technicians, and more. You can text Oilfield to 63566 to get more information, or go to greatoilfieldjobs.com. Equal opportunity employer and, of course, a drug-free employer.
West Texas Intermediate, $81.28, $86.42 for Brent crude, and the price of natural gas, $1.80. B.
All right, gun permits. 6 months ago, Santa Fe resident Bob Clark invested significant time and money, over 15 hours and $400, to obtain his license to carry a concealed weapon in New Mexico. However, recently, an audit by the State Department of Public Safety revealed that the credentials of his instructor and others had expired, leading to the suspension of 730 licenses. DPS has found 27 concealed carry instructors who failed to renew their credentials, prompting an immediate suspension of over 700 concealed carry licenses. Wow. So what's the answer? Because there's got to be some recourse, because the citizens did the right thing.
Correct.
And the instructors are the ones that should be holding the bag, not the citizens.
Correct.
So, in all, you got about 730 licenses that are going to be suspended.
They shouldn't.
So they're
be.
going to have to spend.
They should just have a different instructor. You know, they should transfer them over to somebody else, and whether they have to go through the class again or whatever.
Yeah.
Then that's what should happen.
But more money. That's not good. 2 Texas high school teams played for 23 innings over 2 days to decide one of the longest games in prep sports history.
Wow.
Tom, what's the longest game you ever refereed?
The
umpired.
Well, the longest, not umpired, but called. It was Howard College and Levelland College.
What's the longest?
That was 5 overtime.
There's no overtimes in
baseball.
No, I'm talking basketball.
Okay. Baseball and softball, what is the longest game you were ever an official at?
9 innings.
Okay.
So 23 innings.
We got to
Midland,
restructure the questions here, B.
Oh, my Lord. Midland ousted Odessa 4-3 with the teams finishing Saturday, and they started the night before. So the two teams combined 602 pitches and spent more than 6.5 hours on the field.
Wow.
6.5 hour game. That game is believed to be the longest game played in Texas and is the 7th longest game in the United States history, according to the Federation for State High School Association.
Wow.
That must have been a district.
I can't even imagine a 23-inning game. That's just
a lot of hot dogs.
By the way, there were 2 games back in 67 and one in 1975. One in Hawaii, one in California. They went 25 innings.
I think you flip a coin after that.
Wow.
So, no, you keep playing the game, Tom.
Right.
Who's flipping a coin? And I do believe this decided maybe playoffs. I don't know, but the game was long. Earth Day, EPA pushing back truck rules that will hurt workers and businesses and not even help the planet. So the Environmental Protection Agency is celebrating the new emission standards for heavy-duty trucks. They're saying it's a triumph for the environment. Policy will do nothing for the planet, but inflict severe economic damage on hardworking Americans. EPA's latest rule, while not mandating production of electric-powered trucks just yet, protects the potential compliance pathway requiring 50% of new heavy-duty vehicles to be emission-free by 2032. This leaves truck manufacturers with 2 primary options: electric or hydrogen. Those are the 2. And the cost of both of those are out just off the charts. Not good.
They are, but there are other differences with those trucks between hydrogen and electric, because hydrogen trucks still weigh about the same as gasoline-powered trucks do. But electric trucks weigh a whole lot more.
Yeah. I think it's 3 times the weight.
Right.
It's pretty astounding. All right, we're going to get to Earth Day. Tom, I was looking at this. Over the last 10 years, what state do you think sent the most candidates to the NFL?
I'm going to say
ahead of the draft. They broke this down.
Texas.
Number 1 is Texas. 289 players went off to the NFL. Number 2 would be California, 247, and part of that is just the population.
Right.
Is huge.
I would guess
coming up,
Georgia and Alabama. I would guess.
Yeah, Georgia is 211. Coming in number 4 would be Ohio, 2009. Now Ohio is a fairly large state, also. Louisiana came in at number 6, 102. Very small state, about the size of New Mexico. In fact, New Mexico is bigger than Louisiana.
Get out.
Population and landmass. How many came from New Mexico?
I'm going to say 50.
Tom?
I'm going to guess less than that.
50.
One player. One player in 10 years. One player. That's it.
They don't really.
North Carolina's up there with 94.
They play football here, but it's really basketball.
So Alabama is 87.
Wow.
Pennsylvania is 81. By the way, this is up. I think it was on ESPN where I got this from. So I'm just not making up numbers. But New Mexico ranks the least. Well, they tie with Maine. Maine only had one also. Wyoming had 2.
Are there football teams in Maine? I don't know.
Well, Joe Biden was big in Maine. Or was that Delaware? Chaves County News Network reporting that information distributed about an Amber Alert. And I tried going to the state police. I didn't see any updates, but they need your help locating 10-year-old male Carlos Hernandez, who was seen about 1 p.m. yesterday. And they believe that Carlos was abducted by his non-custodial mother, Angelique Sanchez. She's 39 years old, and a white Sonata. Amber Alert went out yesterday. Little boy is 4'5" and 60 pounds. Biden administration mulling over giving illegals, alien spouses, legal status. So the Biden administration reportedly mulling over the plan that would give legal status to hundreds of thousands of migrants living in the country unlawfully and married to American citizens. So they would instantly get citizenship. The problem with this is if somebody comes from another country legally, they still have to go through the process of getting vetted and paying the money. Look, there's right and there's wrong. There should be, you should be able to have to go through the same process that everybody else goes to. Tennessee man arrested for shooting McDonald's employee. You know why they charged him? They shot him? 25-year-old Dwight Mason, because they charged him the wrong price.
Oh, man.
Tell me it wasn't a Happy Meal. Please tell me it wasn't a Happy Meal. My God, what's the matter with you? And Chicago City Council approved $70 million for migrant care, and they're building a $2 billion facility to house the migrants. People in Chicago are pissed.
They should be.
You're dang right they should be. Morning show this morning being brought to you by All American Cleaners. All American Cleaners, wash, dry, and fold your clothes, 17 pounds, $16.99. Roswell, Artesia, Carlsbad, Lovington, and at Hobbs. Online at allamericancleaners.net. We're going to get you updated with the forecast, a look at news. Let's get to earthquake before we go. Biden was joined yesterday by AOC and Bernie Sanders. They brought the young and the old. Here's part of AOC.
Happy Earth Day, everyone. I'm so excited to be here today with Senator Sanders, Senator Markey, and President Biden.
Oh, yeah. So they brought her out because they needed some young hipster. And so they brought her out. Here's Biden talking about Earth Day.
As president, I've seen the devastating toll of climate firsthand. Since I've been president, I've flown over all the major fires and the thousands upon thousands of acres that have burned flat by wildfires. I'm
just trying to get what climate change has to do with wildfires. By the way, before they could even spell climate change, there were fires in America.
Well, and all of these big fires that have happened have all either been set or were an accident that had nothing to do with the climate.
Act of nature.
Right.
Like electric or something.
Right.
Biden talks about clean solar air.
And folks, Solar for All will give us more breathing room and cleaner breathing room.
More breathing room. I mean, I like more breathing room. As a guy that suffers from bad lungs, I like the idea, but it's not really going to make clean breathing room, right? No, I didn't think so.
I think the BLM not starting fires in on red flag days would help that.
Yeah, I think that would be great. So AOC said something yesterday, and she had to bring in the whole Palestinian protest. Here we go.
As we once again witness the leadership of those peaceful student-led protests on campuses like Columbia, Yale, Berkeley, and many others.
Representative Ocasio-Cortez in New York, you know, I learned a long time ago, listen to that lady. Listen to that lady.
Listen to that lady. Peaceful protest. Like the Jewish person that was jammed with the Palestinian flag in the eye. Mm-hmm. That was peaceful.
Or them calling for the death of all Jews.
Yes. Very, very peaceful. And the other thing that was very peaceful, when the police says, okay, knock it off, it's time to go home, they don't listen and they do not comply.
Right.
That's so peaceful. Pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. Morning show this morning being brought to you by Hobbs Airfield Speedway. Call Jamal this morning if you need more information. 575-631-5099. And they're bringing in BJ the Flagman. You have seen him on Street Outlaws, the TV show. Well, he's a very well-known flagman across the nation. His first time coming to New Mexico. And you want to be out there and check them out May 10th and 11th. Make plans to be there. Friday night, they've got the TNT races on May 10th. And then Saturday, the 11th. Flashlight Cash Days are back. They've got the Daily Driver, Rung What You Brung It, and Small Tire, Junior Dragsters, and DJ, the Flagman, is going to be out there. And if you watch the Street Outlaws, you've seen this guy. And so check it all out. Follow them, Facebook, Instagram, and on TikTok. Tom?
All right. This text saying, nothing that Charles Barkley said, it's been a racist towards Caitlin Clark. Kevin, come on now. You're starting to sound like a liberal play in the race card.
Really?
Yeah.
No, it was racist when they said that she got it because she's not black. That's racist.
The texter goes on to say, just because they don't like Caitlin Clark. And I'm a white guy and a Republican, and I cannot stand Caitlin Clark either. She's a crybaby. She's a liberal. Is she good? I mean, she's the best, but all the hate against Angel last year.
Look, when you judge somebody's athletic ability, you're not judging if they're a liberal. You're not judging.
No, right.
She is the best player. That's it.
Men and women this year.
And they came out and said about they support black athletes. Well, she's not a black athlete. They're not going to support her. That's racist.
Yes.
It's like me saying I only support white athletes. By the way, that would mean that I wouldn't be supporting that many athletes. Okay, Tom.
All right.
Jump in, Ben.
Well, I'll just see if you were through with your thought. Joe from Hobbs.
Well,
saying,
that long pause would be the cue.
Because you have a long pregnant pause all the time. And I love how Biden is talking about climate.
And you got a big stomach like you're pregnant for triplets.
And I love
but your point. Keep going.
Would you be quiet? I love how Biden is talking about climate change, and then he's flown everywhere and sees its effects. Laugh out loud. Joe from Hobbs is chiming in.
Participating in the fossil fuel crisis.
Oh,
right. And hey, guys,
they don't like fossil fuel until it's time to fly.
Right. And then they want to burn as much of it as they can.
Oh, yeah.
And guys, have you seen the fire maps in the past? 98% of them are only in the USA.
The U.S. fire maps.
Says the text.
There are fires that happen everywhere else. In India, there's a huge dump that's been on fire for like 30 years.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And it's
those tires burned for a while.
Well, it's huge though. It's like, and I may get this wrong, but it's like 200 or 300 acres, something like that. It's huge.
Dang, were they burning tires or what?
Everything.
Wow. And happy birthday, Bubba. You're the best brother ever. Love Maddox this morning. Birthday shout to him.
Right on.
Happy birthday.
Hey, B, one of the texters did say that Louisiana's population is almost double New Mexico. I went and looked, and it says Louisiana's population is 4.6 million. And here in New Mexico, we are right at 2.3. 2.3.
Oh, 2.3.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So 104 to 1. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And there you go. B.
I think Alabama and Louisiana are about the same size.
As far as population or?
Yeah, as far as population.
Yeah, I think that's right.
I think. By the way, every southern state just rules. They really do when it comes to football. Yeah, that's for sure.
They do.
All right, 7:09. Let's get updated, find out what's going on with news. We're going to qualify you for the cash. Morning show this morning being brought to you by Zia Guns, 1907 North Main in Roswell. Handguns, rifles, shotguns. They've got them all. And find the right gun. Find the right gun. And if they don't have the gun you're looking for, please talk to them about it. They'll get it for you. Trade in to trade up for a better gun. If you're looking for a complete rig, you're starting to think ahead for hunting season. And draw came out, and you're ready. You're getting ready. And if you're just looking for personal protection, they have lethal and non-lethal personal protection. Lots of ammo. They can tune up your bow. Check them out, 1907 North Main in Roswell. Closed on Saturday, always open on Sunday. Let's get updated with news, but first, let's qualify you for the cash on W105.
Call now. Thank you for calling.
Bob Swiftway in Lovington presenting the Cash Blowout Contest on W105. This is the Cash Blowout Contest on W105.
Call now. Call now.
News brought to you by Stone Oilfield Services in Lovington. Getting the job done right every time since 2004.
Proudly serving most phases of the oil field process, Stone Oilfield Services has a fleet of over 60 trucks and a workforce of over 100 employees. From water transport to kill and vac truck operations, flowback services and pit filling to the clean out of rigs and tanks, as well as oiling and acidizing, Stone Oilfield believes in getting the job done right every time. Their central motto, do what you say you can do. Call them today at 575-396-1840. That's 396-1840.
MTD Radio News, I'm Joe Miller. Well, will bills that actually improve public safety make the cut, or is the governor simply looking to prop up some candidates he hopes to see elected? That's the question many Lee County legislators asking after it was announced Wednesday of last week. Governor Grisham calling for a special session beginning July 18. Rumblings of a special session began even before this year's 30-day session was over, and many expected it would happen, and consensus was it would happen within a few weeks of the end of the 30-day session. Grisham claiming the session will take up additional public safety protections to allow lawmakers to finish what they started during the 30-day session. City of Carlsbad mulling options to replace the North Mesa Senior Center. A local charitable organization wishing to remain anonymous offered to secure a land donation, working with the Carlsbad Department of Development for a new senior center, the Cascades of Carlsbad. There have not been additional discussions between the City of Carlsbad and the private donor. Proposed senior facility would be near the Carlsbad Adult Respite Facility at 201 Cascades Avenue. Carlsbad man accused of trafficking fentanyl and methamphetamine from Albuquerque sentenced to 20 years in federal prison as one of 12 people charged in a joint investigation last spring. 44-year-old Manuel Montoya charged with possessing with intent to distribute 4 kilograms of fentanyl and about 7 kilograms of meth, and distributing 186 grams and 1.5 kilograms of the drugs, respectively. In April and May of last year, a confidential source told police Montoya agreed to provide the drugs and traveled to Artesia to deliver meth and fentanyl and sold them out of his home in Carlsbad. Montoya also drove to Albuquerque to get more drugs to sell in southeast New Mexico. And that's what's happening. I'm Joe Miller, MTD Radio News.
Come out Friday, May 3rd and Saturday, May 4th as the Smokey Bears Hometown Association, Smokey Bear Historical Park, and the Village of Capitan celebrate Smokey Bear's 80th birthday. Smokey Bear Days is a 2-day fun-filled event celebrating Capitan's bear that changed history. This event will have food trucks, vendors, a Rudy Wendland art exhibit, educational events, a climbing wall, drama class play, folk music festival, rock painting, bike rodeo, silent auction, and a parade down Smokey Bear Boulevard. They'll also have a tractor show and kids tractor race, Mescalero Family Time dancers, a cornhole tournament, and a firefighter challenge. Following the parade on May the 4th, there'll be a birthday cake celebration in honor of Smokey Bear. For more information, find them on the web at www.smokeybeardaycapitannm.com or call 575-631-6964. This ad is paid for by the Village of Capitan Lodgers Tax.
This is Senator Stephen McCutcheon. Our way of life is under attack every day by the radical progressives in Santa Fe. Politicians like to talk, but I'm fighting for our community day in and day out to defend the values we hold dear. As a rancher, oil and gas contractor, and conservative fighter, I'm defending our way of life. I fought to secure the border, increased penalties for drug cartels, stood up to the woke left in Santa Fe trying to take our guns away, but I'll never let them. That's why I'm proud to be the only candidate in the campaign for Senate District 42 endorsed by the National Rifle Association, because I'll always fight for our God-given rights. And my very first act as your senator was to impeach Michelle Lujan Grisham. My values are deeply rooted in our community. As a father of 4, I'm fighting to make New Mexico better for the next generation. I'd be honored to have your vote in the Republican June 4th primary. Paid for by Stephen McCutcheon for Senate.
There's been talk in the news that it's hard to get credit these days. Not here. Just like always, we're making auto loans. We offer competitive rates and quick service. We make our loan decisions locally, so you don't have to wait for out-of-town approval on your loan. Make this strong move. Get your auto loan from us. Estacado Federal Credit Union, where you are more than a number. You're a member. Federally insured by NCUA.
Lee County, it's the largest gun and knife show 505 Productions has ever had in Hobbs, and it's this weekend at the Lee County Event Center. Saturday, April 27th from 9 to 5, and Sunday, April 28th from 10 to 4. Over 195 tables available to shop with guns, knives, ammo, scopes and other gun accessories, jewelry, hides, gold and silver, 2A shirts and merch, and much more. Admission is just $7 per day or $10 for both. Kids 12 and under are free. This is the last show before the 7-day waiting period goes into effect. Don't miss the 505 Productions Gun Show this Saturday and Sunday at the Lee County Event Center, 5101 North Lovington Highway in Hobbs.
It's time for the annual membership meeting of Lee County Electric. This year marks their 75th anniversary. Join them on Friday, April 26th during regular business hours in Lovington and Tatum, New Mexico, and Plains, Texas. Attendees will receive a registration gift, have the opportunity to vote, and be entered for the grand prize of $2,500 from Lee County Electric. Lovington will host a drive-through event, while Tatum and Plains will open their lobbies for registration. To streamline your registration process, find a personalized registration card in the back of the April issue of the Enchantment magazine. The business portion of the meeting will be streamed on Facebook Live at 6 p.m. Mountain Time. Lee County Electric, 75 years strong, owned by those we serve.
This is Candy Spence Ezell. I've been involved in agriculture my whole life. I own our cattle ranch with my husband, and I still own family farms with my brothers down by Artesia. My dad was a farmer, his dad was a farmer. Agriculture and livestock is in my blood, and that's who I am. I have a lifetime's worth of experience and knowledge on the issues facing farmers and ranchers in New Mexico. I'm running for the state Senate because I want to fight for our rights and our needs. I will protect our water in New Mexico, and especially here in the Southeast. I will make sure that water rights from our basins are not bought up by developers and pumped to Albuquerque and Santa Fe. As your senator, I will protect our water. I'm Candy Spence Ezell, asking for your vote in the upcoming Republican primary on June the 4th.
Paid for by Candy Spence Ezell for State Senate, District 32.
I want to wake America up.
Be in the Breakfast Club, broadcasting from the Inn of the Mountain God studio. Text line at 877-396-W105. Powered by Amigo Machinery, your Kubota dealer. Question of the day brought to you by Lovington Auto Supply, your Napa dealer.
I got to keep wearing it, but don't tell them I didn't have it on when I walked in.
Thank you, Joe. 877-396-W105. Taking out trash on the way this morning. We'll do math with Tom on the way this morning. Oh, no, we can't do math with Tom. Okay. I thought for a second we would. All right, Trump judge, case number 1.
I'm sorry. Tom.
Here's more on case number 1. Don't be confused. Now, this is the case where they tried to hold him hostage. What was the amount? $475 million?
Yeah, 474.
And then they decided that it would go down to 175. Well, Letitia James took him back to court and said the bond company didn't have substantial enough clout. And Trump's like, they've got my cash. So isn't that enough?
Right.
And the judge, by the way, couldn't figure any of this out, but then they decided. So here's more on that.
He had no idea what anything meant, and he had no idea what he did in the trial. And he charged me hundreds of millions of dollars on something where I'm totally innocent. But if you look at what happened today, Judge Engoron should not have done that trial. He should have gone to the business them in general. He had no idea what was happening. And this is
So he'd be saying the judge had no idea. And I hate when they hold these press conferences in a hallway because it just sounds
well
terrible.
To be fair, he was doing that ahead of he's in that hallway outside the courtroom where he is right now in trial number 2.
Yeah. So he's running back and forth to trial number 1 and 2, and the governor. Remember the governor that ran for president, Bergman, and this is a self-made millionaire governor. If I'm not mistaken, not Wyoming. Is it Montana? I think he. But here's what he had to say. What's that?
Is it Sam Bergman? Is that who you're looking for?
I think that's his name. Bergman definitely is his last name. Here's what he had to say.
This is, again, back to the sham trial. He'd be doing 2 rallies a day. You know that. You know that he loves getting out and talking to real Americans and real people, and he's campaigning on the issues. And one of the reasons why this is election interference is because when President Trump campaigns, he talks about inflation, he talks about the border, he talks about public safety, he talks about stopping the wars and stopping the killing. These are the issues that are mattered to the voters. And so every day that the Democrats can keep him sitting in the courtroom is a win for them. And so it is absolutely, it's election interference, and it is so unfair to the public and to our country to have this happening.
So his name is James Bergman, and he is the governor of North Dakota. He's a self-made millionaire.
Right. Doug Bergman.
Yeah, and has made lots of money in tech programs and that type of stuff, but he's from North Dakota. South Dakota and North Dakota definitely have things going on. That is for sure. Trump's attorney was fired up yesterday. Here's what Trump's attorney had to say.
Witch hunt after witch hunt. President Trump's company was worth more in that case than it is now. And now what? We're here because of something that happened when he was in the White House that wasn't even wrong. It was not wrong. You hire lawyers to solve problems, lawyers solve those problems, you pay them. That's it. This is a joke. It's an affront to the American Constitution. It's an affront to our judicial system. And it's an affront to every lawyer that cares about their license, that cares about what is right and wrong. I am sick of coming in front of the press and saying it, but you have to, because you people need to understand what is going on.
And by the way, the judge yesterday, actually everything was done. It was a win for Donald Trump in case number 1 because the bond remained the same. Letitia James did not get her way.
Right.
So it definitely was a win. And constitutional lawyer, he's on Fox, constitutional lawyer Jonathan Turley talks about case number 2. Here's what he had to say.
Is in this case, Trump is right. I mean, this is an embarrassment. I mean, the fact that we are actually talking about this case being presented in a New York courtroom leaves me in utter disbelief. I mean, the arguments today did, in fact, capture all the problems here. You know, you had this misdemeanor under state law that had run out. This is going back to related to the 2016 election. And they zapped it back into life by alleging that there was a campaign finance violation under the federal laws that doesn't exist. The Department of Justice doesn't view it this way.
So I think if he is found guilty in this case, it is going to go to appeals and it's going to be overturned. But what a colossal waste of time, effort, and money.
Yes.
Too much money. Way too much. All right, taking out trash.
That's kind of their ploy. I mean, that's what they want to happen.
Yeah, they want to tie up his money and tie him up where he's not politicking, because there's one thing that Joe Biden does not do well is to go in front of people.
Right.
Yeah.
Joe Biden does not, look at the crowds that he had at his last fundraiser. If it's not in front of the mega donors, he went to Scranton, Pennsylvania, and nobody showed up.
Right.
I mean, it was just sad. All right, Tom on the text, 877-396-W105.
Hey, we got a lot of text. People are saying that our reception is not well, that we're weak in some areas, a lot of static out there.
Well, so, and I was in and out because I went and asked Jason to check on it for all the station stuff we can do, and I think it's atmospheric.
It is atmospheric.
Most definitely.
So if you can listen on the app is clear, but if you're over the air, there's nothing I can do to fix it from here.
Yeah, it will burn off sooner or later.
Okay, in a nutshell, says this text said, Orthodox churches in Ukraine shut down. In Russia, they're open. Israel, Orthodox. So is Ukraine for the Jews or the Nazis? Frank is asking this morning.
And we have Frank on the phone, too, if you want to talk to him.
Let's do it. Frank, good
All right,
morning.
let's go to the phone. We'll come back. I got to get to taking out trash. But, Frank, what's going on, brother?
Not much, brother. Thank you for your radio station, guys. Greatly appreciate it. So if we follow the money, so before President Trump, there was the Obama administration, and Hunter Biden and Joe Biden would get money from Ukraine and a whole bunch of other countries. So they send money to Ukraine, and then they send money to close to China where they want Taiwan. So remember when Pelosi and her son and they went to Taiwan like a year and a half ago or a year ago? Mm-hmm. So did they go open accounts over there? So when they give them billions, they can transport it back in a secret account. So that's why I say in South Texas we see things clear as water. We might not always be right, but we try. Mm-hmm. That whatever the stomachs come into contact, they turn into crap. Because they went to Taiwan like a year ago, and now we're sending aid to Taiwan, billions of dollars. So did they go open accounts over there? Did the Bidens open accounts in Ukraine? Why do everywhere the Democrats go, we send aid? And really when the war started, it was provoked, and it's dangerous. I'm all for humanity. You have children, you have mothers, you have old people, senior citizens that are hardly sleeping in Ukraine, in Israel, in all of other places because of the wars. And instead of sending aid for peace talks, we're sending military aid. I don't understand. I really don't understand.
We had a peace deal. Putin was willing to talk about peace.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
And Biden put the kibosh to it.
Correct, sir. And that's why
now we know where the money's coming from, Frank.
Yes, sir. And where it's going.
Yeah,
we
know where the money's coming from.
It's channeling back because before they send money, they go and take a trip over there. That's why we call them the stomach. Everything they come into contact, they turn into crap. We need to change our administration, and we need to get back to the what do they call the root, the grassroots here in our country. And we need to educate our children that are coming up, our grandchildren, great-grandchildren. I don't have any great-grandchildren yet, but I do have grandchildren. We need to
I'm with
educate
you,
them
Frank. The number one thing we need to do is hold politicians accountable. That's number one. Correct. That's it. Hey, I appreciate you, brother. You take it easy. Brand new survey found the highest regular cannabis use was found among lower income, less educated U.S. adults. So educated, higher income folks are doing cocaine instead.
That's the way it's always been.
Yeah. So Now, The View, they're not doing cocaine or weed. They just eat everything in sight. Look, some folks have one addiction. Other folks have another addiction. Right, Tom? New study finds that the unstable blood pressure readings could be a warning of dementia, which means that the president's blood pressure must be through the roof at this point.
Mm-hmm.
So dementia, me and Blake had this discussion yesterday about ozone.
Right.
And about ozone cleaning your blood, and it could help with dementia.
Mm-hmm.
So
I was looking online to see if there are any of the doctors or any of the clinics or anything around here that do that, and I couldn't find anything close. It's like
I would go talk to Kelly at Desert Functional and see if he does that. So, yeah. Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, they got 5 new inductees. Dave Matthews Band, Cher, Foreigner. I'm surprised Cher's not in there already.
Right.
Well, Ozzy Osbourne.
I think she is, but I think it's with Sonny.
Oh. Mary J. Blige, Peter Frampton, Kool and the Gang, Tribe Name Quest are the latest folks. By the way, they will be inducted October 19th. And the Spice Girls gathered again over the weekend at Victoria Beckham's 50th birthday party. She's 50 years old. And by the way, her husband, David Beckham, is suing Mark Wahlberg for $10 million
What happened?
for a gym endorsement deal that kind of went south.
Don't trust them rock and rollers, man.
So don't trust the rock and rollers. Who are you talking about?
Wahlberg, wasn't he in the Bad Boys band or something like that?
No, his brother was.
Wow.
What was Wahlberg in? What group was he in?
He was Marky Mark.
Yeah. Yeah, he was Marky Mark, not really with a band, and damn sure wasn't rock and roll.
Mm-mm. Well, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame now includes a lot of things that aren't rock and roll.
I'm not down with that. I'm not down with that.
And again,
morning show
on the static thing, I just want to say it is atmospheric. We've done all the tests, and Jason's gone and looked at the equipment and everything. And if you can listen on the stream, that's what we recommend if at all possible, because it's crystal clear on the stream.
Get on the
Yeah. All right, morning show this morning being brought to you by Roswell Livestock and Farm Supply, 1105 East 2nd in Roswell. Homegrown and proud of it. They've got all your Western wear, work gear, feed for the animals, anything. If you're living on a farm or ranch and need cattle guards and need pumps and that type of stuff, they got everything that you might need. 1105 East 2nd in Roswell, online at roswelllivestock.com. And, of course, if you're in Capitan, Lincoln County Mercantile has everything you need. 732, Angel Reese, WNBA star, was asked a question about transgenders playing in the WNBA or in college athletics. And she said, absolutely no, we need to protect women in sports. Great. And by the way, that response on X got 1.4 million impressions. Wow. Finally, we have an athlete that speaks out and says, thank you. Right. That, no, we don't need men competing against us. We're women. No, we're good. NFL Patriots owner Bob Kraft yanks money from Columbia. He said until the school can protect its students, I am not giving one more dime.
Good.
No more.
Good for
Not
him.
one penny. No more. All right, we're going to talk about Greg Abbott announcing a $34 million project in Uvalde. We'll talk about that up next. Here's the guy, Patrick Bet-David. Patrick Bet-David, I've talked about him. I follow him on X and on YouTube. But he came across a story about a guy in Canada, a Muslim in Canada, that actually did not pull any punches. Listen to this.
Canada, I believe.
Yeah.
And he's like, wow, I actually appreciate the fact that you're being straight up honest. Watch this right here. Go ahead, Rob. happened to a gay couple in Gaza?
Executed according to Islamic law. Islam doesn't endorse gays. Islam doesn't endorse homosexuality. Just like Canada doesn't endorse a lot of things.
So would you like to see Sharia law in Canada replace Canadian law?
At some point it will. Because we have families, we are making babies. You're not. Wow. Your population is going down the slum, right? And by 2060, according to Pew Research Institute, your research, by 2060, Muslims will be the biggest religious group the world over. What are you going to do then? Actually, to oppose Sharia is even then?
Well, you know what? I'm very appreciative of the honesty. We don't usually get that.
One day we can have a Muslim majority nation here in Canada, right in your face.
By the way,
saying it out loud.
FYI, Christians, Jews, everybody else, what are you going to do about it? You're going to sit there and cry or still stay, well, we just want to have one baby because we want to enjoy our time together and we don't want to have too many kids because it's so hard. Perfect. Then in 2060, he's right. That's exactly what's going to happen. You want to do something about it? Go make some money, raise good kids, have 4, 5, 6 kids. That's what's going on with them right now. They're having the kids, and you're not.
So the guy was very honest about it. That no, we're going to take over. We're going to take over Canada. We're going to take over America because we're having babies and you guys aren't. The average household, a Muslim household, will have 5 kids. Average American household has 1 child. And by the way, white people, you guys are falling way behind. Way behind. The proof is in the pudding. If they keep having kids the way they're having kids, they will take control of the world in another 40 years.
And they aren't. At least he's telling you the truth.
Yeah, and he said it's in your face.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't get any more truthful than that. Crazy. Governor Greg Abbott of Texas announced $34 million behavioral health facility they're opening up in Uvalde. And it is going to be one of the largest in South Texas. And it is going to have 12 residential crisis beds and a huge outpatient facility. 4 people dead in Ector County during a crash. 4 people dead in that crash in Ector County on Saturday. That happened on 42nd Street and FM 1936. By the way, one of the people that died in that crash was a 14-year-old boy. NYU requested the NYPD to help them gain control. Disorderly conduct, anti-Israeli protests going on. So they actually called in the New York Police Department, and a lot of people are saying the governor of New York, Governor Hochul, should call in the National Guard to squash it. She is not doing so right now, and part of the reason she won't do it, because it's not a good look for New York when they have to bring in the National Guard.
Well, combine that with what that guy was just saying a minute ago about how they're gonna breed. I hate that word, but that's what he was saying. Yep. They are going to breed a population that will take over, and they've already started because you let them.
Yep. Sharia law is coming. And all these people that are coming across the border, a great number of them, coming from Africa, coming from Sudan, coming from Muslim countries.
Yep.
They're a great majority of the 10 million are Muslim.
Yes.
And by the way, they're going to hit the road running.
Yes.
They will find their stroke in America.
Well,
and they will start having babies.
Well, and that goes to, there was a poll that was released about Gen Zers, and about half of them are sympathetic towards Hamas.
Yes. And so when Sharia law comes to America, I won't be around. My grandkids will be around.
And that same poll said about a third of the Gen Z kids in America that they polled think that Israel does not have the right to exist as a nation.
Wow.
That should be scary for everyone.
Yeah, well, I mean, look at them. They're on the college campuses right now.
Right.
Tom on the text, then we're going to get to taking out the trash. Our number 877-396-W105. Morning show this morning being brought to you by Twin Wells Fuel Station. If you're driving on 128, exit Buck Jackson Road, go down 2.75 miles and fill her up. By the way, they apologize. They were having some issues with their credit card reader, and they've got that fixed. Yeah, we got some very harsh environment in New Mexico. Very hot during the summer and very cold during the winter. And so because of that, the card reader was having some issues, and they've got all that fixed, and they deeply apologize for any inconvenience. But they're open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Check them out today. Twin Wells Fuel Station, open to the public, and right off of 128 on Buck Jackson Road. Tom in the text.
All right, the largest played was 18 innings, says this texter. It's definitely a nail biter when you run out of pitchers and have to rely on your infielders' pitching ability to pull you through for a win, says the text. Now, earlier you guys asked me what game I did, the longest game. Well, I did one last year, but it's called International Tiebreaker Rule in softball. You put a runner at second base. It's the last batter that came up, and then you try to get them across to try to win. Now, of course, the other team goes to bat too, but that's the way they do those tiebreakers.
Huh?
Yeah. So you don't play extra innings. You play the tiebreaker. And I had one.
Yeah, because a bunch of the umpires were whining that they weren't getting overtime for the game.
So, anyway, that's the way that works. I did that. I think they did that last year in Major League Baseball. Did you watch any of that, Blake?
I don't think so.
I think so. It was an experiment. I don't think they liked it.
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't watch baseball, but if they did, that would be rather different.
Yeah, it was crazy.
For sure.
And those colleges created some problems with their students being anti-Semitic, and now they're scared and scrambling. Maybe it will be a little bit of a wake-up call for those institutions, says this one.
Well, and it all begins with the professors. Who do you think has started a lot of these protests?
Right.
It was the professors.
And now it's coming home to roost.
Yes.
And this one text is saying, all young Muslim women I know love them some white boys, says the texter. Okay. I'm making fun of that whole deal. And Mark Wahlberg did have a band, guys. The group was called Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch.
Yeah, but it's not really a band, and it damn sure is not rock. Tom was insinuated it was a rock band.
No, it's pop.
It's hip-hop.
It's
Well,
it was pop.
They're going to go into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Probably.
Why?
Well, there's no category for any.
Tommy, you had like one song,
What do you mean
bro?
there's no category?
Well, look who's in there now.
It's the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Yeah. That's the category. There aren't categories.
But there's no criteria.
And I get what Tom's saying because ABBA's in there.
Yeah.
By God, when I think of rock and roll, I'm not thinking of Fernando.
Well, even Eminem, who is now in there, said,
"Right,
we don't belong in the Rock Hall of Fame."
Right.
You know?
But the money, bro.
Hey, didn't Ice Baby,
Vanilla Ice,
didn't he get into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame?
I'm not sure whether he did or not, but
I don't know. Something tells me he did.
I'll have to go look.
All right, when it comes to the border, NBC just did a report about the border and about the Chinese coming across the border. If you're not scared yet, this should scare you.
3 years ago, 689 Chinese migrants crossed the southern border. Last year, that number soared to over 37,000. Part of an explosion of migrants coming here from all over the globe. Currently, most migrants are released into the U.S. to wait often years for asylum hearings. Critics say that encourages migrants to come, and President Biden should change course through executive action.
600 3 years ago. 37,000 so far this year. Let that sink in for just a second. And by the way, nobody's leaving China without the Communist Party knowing. How do you get out of the country? I mean, people talk about a border wall. You're not flying out of China without the government knowing about it and without permission.
Nope.
So they came here at the request of the Chinese Communist Party. Yeah. Chinese coming here. Crazy. And Mayorkas, again yesterday, said there's nothing that we can do to fix this. Here's what he had to say.
Why not take executive action right now? Why not do more right now to address this?
What executive action are you suggesting that we take that we haven't taken that would survive court scrutiny?
Wait, now you're worrying about the court. You've already changed the process for amnesty and refugees. Like, what court is he talking about?
Well, he's saying that it would go to the Supreme Court and would survive the Supreme Court, but they didn't care on all these other things.
No, they didn't care. And by the way, it survived when Trump did it.
Yeah, all you have to, and that would have been my answer if I was the guy talking. Reinstitute the Trump executive order.
Yeah, I mean those worked.
And by the way, Vanilla Ice not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. By the way, that song is one of the most replayed song in the last 50 years.
Really?
He was on some podcast talking about how much money he makes off that song, and it's ridiculous.
Wow. Well, to be fair, it's also every time you hear it, you are hearing Queen and David Bowie as well.
Yeah, no doubt.
That's a sample.
No doubt. Yeah. All right, taking out trash this morning, being brought to you by Trash Eaters, trash-eaters.com, 575-390-4549, trash-eaters.com, reminding you the Lovington Animal Shelter needs help. They need volunteers, and they need monetary donations. Call them at 575-552-3669. Need your trash picked up? Call Trash Eaters today, 575-390-4549. The Biden administration is handing out millions of dollars on Earth Day, subsidizing solar in America's least sunniest places. The low-income solar program is awesome. The Environmental Protection Agency announced 60 applicants receiving about $7 billion in Solar for All refunds. Government agencies are working to make this happen. For the executive office for the state of New Hampshire received $43.5 million. Tom, you said you had went to New Hampshire. How much sun do they have in New Hampshire?
Not much.
Vermont also received $62.5 million. How much sun do they have in Vermont?
Well, they do have moonlight in Vermont.
In Maine, $62.1 million. By the way,
They
Vermont,
have sun
New Hampshire,
like 2 weeks out of the year.
yeah, New Hampshire, Vermont, and Maine receive the least solar radiation in the country.
Wow.
Meanwhile, the EPA was giving out a whopping $249.8 million to New York State's Energy Research and Development Authority. By the way, they're also on the list for low levels of solar radiation. Do I have to continue and talk about Pennsylvania? They received $156.1 million. Needless to say, they don't get a bunch of sun in Pennsylvania. Same thing with Wisconsin. And the list goes on and on. So we're spending money. We're throwing away your tax dollars. In the meantime, the Biden administration is floating a plan to tax you more. I'm going to get to the Biden tax increase at some point this morning. So they are taking this money and giving it to these states who have no chance of really producing any solar power. Congratulations. This is another Solyndra. Thank you so much, Joe Biden. You're very good at pandering, but not really good at producing. Taking out trash this morning being brought to you by Trash Eaters. 749, Santa Fe officer facing battery charges after another domestic disturbance. Christopher Lamuru, police officer with the Santa Fe Police Department, received a promotion, and it is a sergeant. And here we go again, another police officer, senior police officer in Santa Fe charged with battery. By the way, he's on leave for the present time. FBI is looking for the bearded bandit, a Belen bank robber. By the way, his description, 5'5", average build, white guy with a beard. That's pretty much it. If you know who the bearded bandit is, FBI says they could really use some help. 5'5", white guy with a beard. Okay. That kind of...
These descriptions are just getting just so generic all the time.
Yeah, I mean,
and we're lucky it even said white guy. Normal time it would just be like, a 5'5" guy with a beard.
Yeah. We just talked about all the money that all the other states were getting for solar. Grant from the EPA means that New Mexico is going to get $156 million. A state like New Mexico, that kind of does make sense.
Yes.
Because we're a big producer of, we get a lot of sun.
Right. Any southwestern state, right? I mean, that's where the sun is.
And by the way, this is for low-income folks. They say it's a game changer because low-income folks are burdened with utilities, and New Mexico has some of the poorest of poor, according to this report. So New Mexico getting $156 million from the feds. And Biden planning more more student loan debt to be paid off.
Unbelievable.
So planning to cancel more student debt.
Well, I thought they were concerned about what the court says.
Oh, no, he's not concerned. This could cost taxpayers $250 billion to $750 billion is the new estimate. I want you to think about this. Tom, how many billion in a trillion?
There's about 100 billion in a trillion.
Yep.
So 700 billion would be, in that case, would be 7.5 trillion is what you're telling me.
It's in the neighborhood.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And the Supreme Court is preparing to debate the Trump immunity claim for the election interference case. So that argument starts coming up Thursday morning, and this could be historic, not just for Donald Trump, not just if you can hold a president, if you can hold him accountable for his actions while in office, this sets forth a domino effect.
Well, and let's be clear. The things that he is being charged with are minuscule in the big scheme of things, right? Like if you had like a dictator who outlawed elections and all that stuff, you would understand if they were holding something like this. But for him telling people to go home peacefully, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
That's horrible.
So, and if it's determined that you can hold them accountable, I would think that Laken Riley's mother and father should file suit
against Joe Biden
the same day against Joe Biden.
And what about against Obama? Because there were some things that happened, and he brought folks in here who did bad things.
Yeah, well, Benghazi, we could hold him and Clinton together.
Yes.
Both of them.
Yes.
I think that's an awesome idea. We'll see. All right, 7:54. We got to get to things that happen on this date in history. National anthem and the pledge on the way. Your chance to qualify for cash. Tom on the text quickly.
All right, so this text is saying Tom is lying his butt off. They did not try that in the major leagues last year. Well, it happened in 2020, remember, because of the pandemic. And they did it to reduce risk injury after the unusual spring training shutdown and the midsummer build-up period for pitchers. A rule remained temporarily in 2021 and 2022, but has now been made permanent. So I knew I was right. They do have, after 9 innings, if the game is tied, they'll go to that international rule. So I knew that for sure. And everyone knows, says this texter, that should know that every time Crazy Joe makes one of those school debts disappear, the hardworking taxpayer Americans end up with their debt, and those are the facts, says the text. Is true.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't disappear. Somebody's paying for it.
And could you imagine how much more dumb Tom would be if he didn't have the Cracker Jack degree from UTPB, says the texter. I know.
By the way, they called yesterday. They said they can't find his degree.
Actually, I got it somewhere in the house, in the bus.
Well, please bring it in one day. We'd like to see it.
Prove nothing, but yeah.
See, when somebody says stuff like that, it makes me believe that they do have something to prove.
No. I proved it.
When they say, well, I ain't got nothing to prove to you.
I proved it 6 years.
When?
It took me 6 years to get it. And I got it.
A 2-year degree took you 6 years.
4 years. I actually started in junior college, but then life happened, and I had to quit for 2 years, and then I finished up. And Muslim women coming to the U.S. for the first time are awestruck. In their home countries, women have the few rights and get treated like poo-poo. They plan to take over and blow up their face when women rebel, crossbreed, and have the faith because they know they have a choice for once in their life and the taste of freedom, says the Texas.
Some. Yeah. There are some that rebel. You remember the father that killed his 2 daughters because they rebelled.
Right. Yep. And that's what happens, and it holds a whole lot more, quote-unquote, in line when that happens in those communities, and that's why they want their communities, like in Minnesota and Michigan.
That's Sharia law.
Yes. And so regular police officers say, we can't do anything about that. And my question is, isn't this the United States?
Right.
It was for the meantime.
But it's kind of like down in southwestern New Mexico, where now we have ceded that to the cartels. In those areas with high Muslim populations, we have ceded those areas to those Muslim populations, and they're no longer under
and by
U.S.
the way,
law.
If you don't think Iran is sending heroin over here to support terrorism,
absolutely,
you got a whole nother thing coming. All right, let's get to things that happened on this date in history. We got to get to the national anthem and pledge. Things that happened on this date in history being brought to you by 2A Tactical Firearms Indoor Firing Range, 236 East Navajo and Hobbs, veteran-owned and operated by the Pennick family. They offer a large selection of firearms. State-of-the-art indoor firing range, the Milo FBI training simulator, over 1,000 different scenarios. If you want to get in there and shoot, you can pay by the hour or you can get the monthly membership. Huge selection of guns, all your optics, all your lasers. Looking for tactical gear, they've got you covered there. All your ammo. Go to the website, 2atacticalrange.com for more information. And if you're looking to buy a gun, but you also need training, they offer one-on-one training and group training for first-time gun buyers. Check them out today, 236 East Navajo and Hobbs, or go to the website, 2atacticalrange.com. King Henry VIII of England established the Order of the Garter on this date in 1348. By the way, the Queen was, she appreciated it. Connecticut was chartered as a English colony and a future women's basketball dynasty in 16 62, Tom. Yes. The president, George Washington, and his wife, Martha, moved their first executive mansion, the Franklin House in New York City, in 1789. First postage stamp in Canada came out in 1851. Also on this date, Hank Aaron hit the first home run, his first home run.
Yep.
754 later, he finally stopped. The year was 1954. He hit his first.
Yep.
Coca-Cola announced that it was changing their formula to the new Coke in 1985. Yeah. That's when I started drinking a whole different cola.
Right.
Back in the day. You remember that cola, Blake? Came out, double the caffeine, double the sugar.
Jolt.
Jolt Cola. Yes. Some Jolt Cola. Federal ban. By the way, what a boneheaded move to change the formula for Coke. Federal ban on smoking went into effect on airlines in 1988. Take a Chance Day, National Lost Dog Awareness Day, Cherry Cheesecake Day, National Picnic Day. Happy birthday, John Cena, 47 years old.
Watched his new movie the other night. It was okay.
The wrestler?
Yeah, it was okay.
What was the name of the movie?
Freelance, where he...
Yeah, I did watch that too.
Yeah.
Kal Penn is 47 years old today and still smoking. John Oliver is 47, comedian, host of the Last Week Tonight. George Lopez is 63, walking around with one kidney his ex-wife gave him.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Valerie Bertinelli is 64 years old.
Get out.
Tom,
Valerie, 64. Wow.
Yeah, she was on a show back in the day. Name the show.
One Day at a Time.
Ding, ding.
Ooh, Tom scored one. And she was married back in the day. Name her husband.
Van Halen.
What?
You think his first name is Van?
Wasn't it Wolf Van Halen, something like that?
That's her son.
Eddie.
Oh,
Eddie Van Halen.
Wolfie is her son.
Yeah. Yes.
They only had one kid.
Joyce DeWitt. Tom, what show was she on?
She was in the movie, the show with John Ritter and Suzanne Summers.
Which was called?
It was called Three's a Crowd.
Three's a Crowd.
Three's Company.
Or Three's Company. Either way. She's 75 years old today. And she is in the show now called One's Company. Yes.
Yeah, she's the only survivor. Right?
Survivor.
She is the only survivor.
Yeah.
And $6 Million Man is running low on parts, waiting for the new parts to come from China. Lee Majors is 85 years young.
Whoa.
And he's got a backup. They're rebooting him shortly, I'm sure.
And I got
everything comes back.
I got one other thing that happened on this day in 1969. Sirhan got the death penalty for assassinating Robert Kennedy.
You were no fun, Blake. We were gonna pose that to Tom.
Sorry.
Oh, I would have known that one.
Who was Robert Kennedy, Tom?
He was RFK. He was the guy running for president. JFK's brother. But is he still alive, though, Sirhan?
What was his nickname?
Which one?
Go ahead, Kevin. I'm trying to tee it up, but I just can't.
Robert F. Kennedy.
Right.
His nickname.
RFK.
Bobby.
Oh,
Bobby. And by the way, he was probably the
only good one.
The only good Kennedy. Yes, thank you. Thank you. Yes. All right, 803 KWMW, Maljamar, 105.1 FM. Supreme Court in Texas making a ruling on no excuse mail-in ballots. We'll tell you what that is all about. Also coming up, we got the tool belt generation. This is refreshing that kids are going to trade school. Virginia, West Virginia middle school girls walked out of the shot put competition. I'll tell you why they walked away and an Amber Alert sent out for a 10-year-old in Albuquerque. We'll get to that. And a man shoots his girlfriend and baby. Are they going to hold him in jail? We're going to get to that story coming up this morning. 804 be on the Breakfast Club on W105. Tom, anything else before we take a break?
Yeah, this Smokey in Arizona says, I've been listening to W105 for about eight years, and the last 2-3 has been on the app exclusively because I no longer live in New Mexico. That's Smokey this morning. Of course, he's lived in Florida too, so I'm sure he listens to us.
Listening to us on the app. Thank you so much, Smokey. We appreciate it.
Yep. Thanks for tuning into your country, W105.
Thank you for just stop reading the text. Thank you. 805, National Anthem and the Pledge, being brought to you by Rebecca Long. She, of course, started her business at the age of 19, and 40-plus years later, still going strong. You can find her in West Vega and Hobbs, or you can give her a call, 575-393-2661. She serves Lee Eddy in Chaves County. Would love to talk to you about your insurance needs and put together a plan that's designed to meet all of your needs. Call and talk to her, 575-393-2661. Proud sponsor of the National Anthem and the Pledge on W105.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Carrie Underwood.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets sparkle, the bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
God bless America. God bless you. Large prayer this morning being brought to you by Judah Oil. It's 8:08 on W105.
From Isaiah 44, I am the Lord your Savior. I am the one who created you. I am the Lord, the creator of all things.
Hi, this is Felicia Bowen with Judah Oil. Please join me in our Lord's Prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen.
8:08 on W105. Check of the weather being brought to you by David Trujillo. He's running for County Commissioner, District 1 in Lee County. He's a Republican and has the experience to take care of you in District 1. He's a veteran. He's a Desert Storm Army veteran for 15 years of service in the military. He is also a proud member of the oil and gas industry, the Patch and New Mexico. 17 years working in the patch, supports the oil and gas industry, and has the experience, being part of a municipality, 20 years as a city commissioner, mayor, or mayor pro tem in Lovington. He understands the ups and downs of the oil and gas industry, understands budgets, and also understands that you got to go out there and get the capital outlay money. Find out more information about David Trujillo. He'd appreciate your vote in the upcoming election. Find out more. He's on Facebook. David Trujillo, running for county commissioner, District 1. He's a Republican in Lee County. Message paid for by David Trujillo. 810, weather for the day. Sunny skies, 89 today, 54 and clear tonight, 87 tomorrow, and then windy on Thursday. Looks like maybe some wind on Friday also. We're going to keep you updated with all the weather. You can always check it out at W105radio.com. Let's get updated with news being brought to you by Ragsdale Law Firm. Luke Ragsdale, 600 North Pennsylvania in Roswell, serving Lee, Eddy, and Chaves County. He's there for you, settling big cases like in the oil and gas industry. One case he settled $10 million, $9 million in a medical malpractice case, settling car accidents, slip and falls, and any type of personal injury cases. Also, if you need somebody to defend you in the court of law, 575-208-5300, RagsdaleLawFirm.com. 810 news coming up next, but first, let's qualify you for the cash on W105.
Call now. Thank you for calling.
Bob Swiftway in Lovington presenting the Cash Blowout Contest on W105. This is the Cash Blowout Contest on W105.
Call now. Call now.
Fox News, I'm Therese Crowley. Campus chaos spreading. The protest during Passover, despite police action shutting down a Gaza Solidarity tent city at NYU last night. President Biden says he denounces anti-Semitism, but also denounces people who don't know what's going on with the Palestinians. Protest today from Berkeley to Vanderbilt to Rice to Tufts. The Trump trial continues, but first a hearing whether to fine or jail the former president. New York DA Alvin Bragg's office claims Trump violated his gag order 10 times. House Democrats introduced a bill to remove Secret Service protection from any convicted felon. Congressman Jim Jordan.
There is no crime that brought this case to this courtroom. It would have been laughed out of any other courtroom in America, if not being brought by far-left District Attorney Alvin Bragg, overseen by a Democrat judge who donated money to Joe Biden's campaign.
Well, that's Caroline Leavitt, Trump team. America's listening to Fox News.
You said we were going to do something fun.
This is fun.
Pizza and Netflix? Are you kidding me?
It's a good movie.
I'm done with you.
Are you tired of the same old routine? Life gets boring, doesn't it? Well, it's party time at Cal's Cactus Lanes, now under new management. We're out with the old and in with the new. It's time for some.
Oh, yeah.
Come check out the new and improved party place and bring the family for some cosmic bowling fun every Friday and Saturday. You want to throw a party? I love parties. Well, let the good times roll at Cal's Cactus Lanes. And when you're done rolling strikes, visit Cal's Shade Western for the best drinks this side of the Mississippi.
I thought we lived on the Pecos.
Cal's Cactus Lanes, now newly remodeled and under new management. You can even book your parties there. Call 575-887-1933 or go by 1611 South Canal Street in Carlsbad.
It's amazing.
Cal's Cactus Lanes is an equal opportunity employer. Apply within.
Sierra Blanca Motors in beautiful Ruidoso has over 60 new 2023 and 24 rims in stock. All makes, all models ready for a quick delivery. So they are blowing away the competition with lower discounts on these vehicles than any dealer in Southwest New Mexico, guaranteed. Their loss is your gain. Online at SierraBlancaMotors.com. Sierra Blanca Motors. They make it easy with no gimmicks, no markups, no addendums, and lower pricing. See dealer for details.
Chow Cowboy Days is coming April 26th and 27th with live entertainment and fun for the whole family during this free community event. Shop lots of vendors starting at 5 p.m. Friday the 26th with live music from Maximo Norte and La Fuerza del Bravo starting at 7 p.m. Then Saturday the 27th, enjoy a full day of cowboy events, including a Dutch oven cook-off, cattle drive down Main Street, calf branding, blacksmith demonstration, Little Buckaroo's Western wear competition, a silent auction to benefit local stroke victim Harvey Tavares, and much more. Plus, Saturday night at 7:30, enjoy the Western sounds of Caitlin Butts. Don't miss Jowl Cowboy Days, April 26th and 27th at Jowl Lake Park. To become a vendor, call 575-308-9667.
Industrial Hose and Oilfield Supply has opened their 9th location at 5211 Buena Vista Drive in Carlsbad, New Mexico. iHose is a full-line supplier of pipes, valves, fittings, and emergency equipment for the oil and gas market. They offer 24/7 call coverage for all your emergency needs. They can support your next project or your small daily repairs. Industrial Hose and Oilfield Supply. Go by the office today, 5211 Buena Vista Drive, and meet manager Carl Ford and his team. Call 575-286-0991. Industrial Hose and Oilfield Supply. Check them out today.
This is Davis Smith, the Guerrilla Lawyer, and I'm talking to you from my office on 3130 North Grimes in Hobbs, New Mexico. Our office has exploded with new clients. And do you know why? Fast settlements, fantastic customer service, and man, we love paying our clients money. If you get injured in a car wreck, you come see the Gorilla. Remember, if you get injured, you get the Gorilla.
Visit 3130 North Grimes or call 575-964-2720. That's 964-2720.
Looking for oil field, industrial, and safety supplies? Go to America Supply. Need cleaning supplies? America Supply has that too. How about restaurant and food truck supplies? Are you beginning to see a trend here? America Supply carries everything from H2S and quad monitors, fire extinguishers and first aid kits, to safety glasses, vests, FR clothing, fall protection, and gloves of all types. They have your slings and whip checks, your lift straps and cam locks, your adapters, pipe fittings, and threaders. They have many name brands like Lockout, Tagout, Pelican, Milwaukee, Rigid, and so many more. Visit America Supply to find exactly what you're looking for and then some. 502 North Grimes and Hobbs under the Big American Eagle, or call 575-393-3383.
Hey, this is Big Ben, and it's time to announce the Permian Chevy Buick GMC Nissan's Guaranteed Approval Program. It's a new year, and it's time for a new you. Permian Chevy Buick GMC Nissan has partnered with local banks to bring this opportunity to you. Do you have a job? You're approved. Do you have a passport, a driver's license, or an ID? You're approved. What about an ITIN number? You're approved. Good credit or bad credit, if you're over the age of 18 and currently employed, you're approved. At Permian Chevy Buick GMC Nissan, your job is your credit. Plus, take advantage of the amazing rates on new and pre-owned vehicles. Get rates as low as 1.9% on select new vehicles. Save big today on cars, trucks, vans, and SUVs. With over 300 pre-owned vehicles on the lot and another 300 at our off-site location, we have what you need. Save big now with up to $10,000 off on select new 1,500 trucks and new cars starting as low as $19,000. Now's the time to take advantage. You got to get down to Permian Chevy Buick GMC Nissan today. 701 West Navajo Drive in Hobbs.
Announcing town hall meetings to discuss existing Eddy County Courthouse and its preservation and proposal of new Eddy County complex consisting of new detention center, new courthouse, and new administration facilities building. Town Hall Meeting 1 will be held Wednesday, April 24th from 6 to 8 p.m. at the Eddy County Courthouse, located at 102 North Canal. The meeting will be held on the 3rd floor in courtroom number 1, the large courtroom. You can access the Zoom meeting via QR code at co.eddy.nm.us. Town Hall Meeting 2 will be held Monday, April 29th from 6 to 8 p.m. at the Artesia City Hall, located at 511 West Texas. The meeting will be held in City Council chambers. Again, access the QR code Zoom meeting link at co.eddy.nm.us. The public is invited to submit questions in advance to the following email address by Tuesday, April 23rd at 5 p.m. You can email ajones@co.eddy.nm.us.
Now, back to the show.
Be in the Breakfast Club, broadcasting from the Inn of the Mountain God studio. Text line at 877-396-W105. Powered by Amigo Machinery, your Kubota dealer. Question of the day brought to you by Lovington Auto Supply, your Napa dealer.
It's about damn time.
877-396-W105. Fuel prices are going to be going up. Wait for it. Monica Crowley from Fox Business talking about fuel prices going up and how high will they go?
The Middle East has to explode before you get $120, $130 a barrel oil and $7 gasoline.
Is
Yeah.
that your forecast?
Well, it could very well happen. Yes. And if it does, it's on top of all of the other inflationary pressures that the American people have been suffering through thanks to Biden's out of control spending over the last 3 years.
And by the way, he was out yesterday giving out more money. And the only way that we can sustain is to increase taxes on the worker bees. The only way we can sustain handing out money to foreign countries and 10 million people that have come across the border. And by the way, they haven't all come across the border. Joe Biden has actually flown people in because we didn't want to clog up the border. We didn't want them waiting in line. They actually said that. We didn't want them having to wait in line. So we went down to Guatemala and picked them up. We went down to Nicaragua and picked them up. We went to Cuba and picked some people up.
Wow.
That way they didn't have to wait in line. I wish they cared for us as much they do for these foreigners. But see, we have one sole purpose in this country: to work till the day we die and pay taxes to the day we die.
Right.
That's it. That's our purpose. You are the worker bees. These other people that they're bringing in have another idea for them.
Mm-hmm.
What's the agenda for the people they're bringing in, Blake? Is that a personal army, maybe?
It could be a personal army. It's obviously a personal voting block because
Yes.
they've really tried to make it where those people can now vote. And the thing that I don't understand is there's a lot of dystopian future movies out there, right? And everybody always sides with, like, if you watch The Hunger Games, you sided with those kids, right? And if you watch any of these other movies, you side with that. But when it's in real life, these people don't get it. You know, they side with the enemy. And now when they're bringing in their army and their voting bloc, everybody's like, oh, it's okay. No, it's not. It's going to be used to suppress you.
Agreed. We're in a bad shape right now. Very bad. All right, 877-396-W105. Be on the Breakfast Club. At Last Makeup Mirror, reminding you that they've got the best makeup mirror around. Here's the other thing, is they love moms, and they want to honor moms. So Mother's Day, the At Last Makeup Mirror is perfect for mom. By the way, Mother's Day falls on May 12th, and they're offering 20% off to our listeners when you go online and buy at atlastmakeupmirror.com and use the code word W105. That's simple. W105. Best makeup mirror in the business, times 1, times 5, times 10. LED lights. Mom is going to love the At Last Makeup Mirror. So save 20% off right now. Use the code W105 when you go online and save 20% off for Mother's Day. Or you can just call Rebecca and she could take care of you. 575-631-3189 or atlastmakeupmirror.com. Tom on the text, if you would.
All right, Steve is saying, you know, some people believe that Coca-Cola changed their formula was a marketing scheme because it created more space on the shelves for the original product. I think Pepsi was challenging on sales, so they changed the formula.
But they eliminated the original product.
Yeah. But then they came back knowing, that was a dumb thing to do.
Well, yeah, but it took them a while to do. How long did it last? Blake, do you remember?
Not even a year, wasn't it?
No, I think it lasted for like 2 years.
Was it 2 years?
Something.
Was
like
it
that.
2 years?
It was something
Wow.
like that because it was a long time in them totally phasing it out.
I mean, look, if you want the original formula, it actually had cocaine in it.
Right, it did. Way back
Tom,
in
why
the
are you
day.
grinding your teeth?
Why not?
Oh, my God.
Didn't The Simpsons have an episode where they said an illegal immigrants who can vote? Ask this one text. I never watched that cartoon. So I don't know.
Probably they have a lot of prophetic things in there.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
Another text says, we need more foreigners to fill the job, says Lovington Liberal this morning.
What exactly jobs are you talking about? And so here's my problem. You need to make Americans go back to work. That's number one. And if we have a job opening at a convenience store and we need a foreigner, we should go get a foreigner. I'm with you. I'm down with you. What we don't need is willy-nilly bringing in people that have no experience in any industry.
No skills.
Correct. And what they say is, well, jobs Americans won't do. Well, tell me what those jobs are, because I know plenty of Americans who want to do those jobs.
So, and the other thing is, force Americans back to work. Get them off the damn couch. And the way you do that is you say, we're cutting off your food stamps, we're cutting off your welfare, and we're cutting off any form of assistance. You're an able-bodied man or woman. Get to work. Do you know we have the highest level of able-bodied men from the age of 24 to 40 years old, who are not getting off the couch? I don't know how they're living.
Mother's basement.
But they're not working.
Right.
They're not working. We need to force those people to go to work. And by the way, if we have job openings for people to clean up at hotels, my brother uses the guest worker program. His company has about 300 hotels they manage.
Wow.
And guess what? They use the guest worker program. They bring in people for 6 months, and then they leave in 6 months. And they bring in new people because nobody wants to be a maid. So they bring them in for 6 months, and they go home for 6 months, and they have a pretty good life. But as far as staying forever and ever and becoming a burden on the American people, no, I'm not down with that.
No.
Sorry, liberal. You want to pay more. You want them, you should pay.
Well, and, and some texters are texting in. Tom, we'll get to those texts in a minute. But there are jobs that people say, I want a job, but I don't, I'm an entry-level person with entry-level skills, but I don't want an entry-level job. And I'm sorry, but that's where you start.
Right.
And we need to, and I hate the deal. Well, I got a college degree.
So?
I should be, no. It doesn't work that way. And that's why this next story that off of Breitbart was so refreshing. Young people are swapping college for trade schools.
Right.
They're calling these folks the tool belt generation. More young people skipping college and going to trade school. Welders, plumbers, electricians, and so on and so on.
Mm-hmm.
A huge amount of people. Instead of going to college, you're going, college is not for me. Why am I going to go spend 4 years when I could go to a trade school and get my certificate in 2 and be on the job making more money than some CEOs?
Well, and here's the big question. Look at what's going on at college campuses right now.
Yeah.
If you were a young person, why would you want to subjugate yourself to that instead of going and learning how to do a job where you can become a millionaire relatively quickly?
And think about this. A lot of these colleges now are going virtual again.
Mm-hmm.
Columbia announced they're going virtual. They're shutting down the campus.
Well, they have to.
Because they've been taken over. That's where the problem lies. Why did you let these people take over? Crazy. Melania Trump unveiling the $245 customizable Mother's Day necklace 3 weeks before Mother's Day. Mm-hmm. So she's selling that.
She'll sell out.
And, of course, the liberals are saying, well, they need the money.
Does it matter? Does it matter if they need the money? No.
No. Shouldn't matter.
No, I'm just saying, if you're criticizing somebody, they're selling something that they did. or have a part of.
I'm good with that.
Yeah.
Persons,
I
whatever.
don't care what it is.
Well, and their Democratic women ain't as good looking as Marlena is.
That has nothing to do with what I'm talking
I'd
about.
buy
Tom.
something
Her
from
name is Melania.
Well, Marlena. I call her Marlena.
Oh, my God.
You can call her Jack and Jill. It doesn't mean she's going up the hill. Last week, final prom ever at Payson High School. That name might sound familiar. Payson, Utah.
No.
Payson, Utah.
That was the theme. That was the theme of Footloose.
Oh. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Okay, got you.
Yeah. So anyway, Kevin
It's been a
Bacon
minute.
showed up. Yeah. And in Greece, the royal family, the prince and the princess, 13 years of marriage, they're getting a divorce. They announced their separation last week. Maybe they can, I don't know, mend the broken fences. We'll see. Supreme Court refusing to hear the appeal, and the Texas law is going to stay in place. U.S. Supreme Court has declined to hear the legal challenge to the Texas law that required voters under the age of 65 to perform justification for vote by mail, meaning that the Democrats are attempted to have a no-excuse mail-in ballot. By the way, that failed in a Lone Star state. Well, the Supreme Court said, no, we're not going to hear it.
Right. Because the Lone Star State doesn't want corruption at that level.
God bless. God bless. West Virginia middle school girls walked off the shot put competition after to protest a transgender athlete. So everybody competing except the transgender athlete, 13-year-old boy, Becky Pepper Jackson, identifies as a girl but was a strapping young man. Finished at 32 feet, 9 inches.
That's it.
By the way, everybody walked off. The brave young girls decided they were not going to compete.
I hope they got a standing ovation.
Oh, I would hope they did. Man accused of shooting at his girlfriend and baby is going to be held in court. We talked about Elijah Archuleta facing charges of shooting at a woman while she was holding their baby. Archuleta's girlfriend told police the two were having an argument when he shot at her while holding the baby. By the way, he is going to remain in jail until his trial.
Thank goodness.
Thank God. Thank God for the judges finally doing what they're supposed to do. Brand new polling numbers. 57% of Americans say they would feel better if they got more sleep. Tom, do you have that problem?
Yeah.
You have a problem getting more sleep? Because I'm just going to say, you know, the best place to take a nap in the afternoon is at Bob's Thriftway in the parking lot.
I've done that, yeah.
Yeah, yesterday.
Yeah, like yesterday.
Yeah, I took a nap yesterday.
In the parking lot.
I was tired, man. I'd been up all day.
So let me ask you this much. What are you tired of doing?
I was just tired.
Because you get here right before 6.
Right.
And it's not like you're working 20 hours a day,
well, Monday
bro.
is my big day, tough day. So
Your tough day.
Yeah.
I had to work 6 hours. I mean, it's a tough day.
So it's a long day, and then...
it's a long... 6 hours is tough.
So went to Bob.
That
was what dollar days of Bob. So.
I just didn't know if I could do it. 6 hours is just too much.
It took me a little nap.
Yeah. In the parking lot at Bob's.
So
all the little kids are going, Mom, I think that guy's dead. Look at him.
No, honey, he's breathing.
No, he's breathing. And we can hear him snoring all the way across
a 2-minute
town.
snoozer, man. It wasn't like I slept there all day. Hello.
How do you know if you're sleeping it's 2 minutes?
I set the alarm.
Because you set the alarm before you fell asleep.
Alarm?
Shut up. Remember a couple months ago? No, it was last month. You fell asleep in the car on your way to work.
Right. I didn't set the alarm.
And it wasn't until like 7:20 that we called you.
Yeah, I didn't set the alarm.
Oh, you did. So you set the alarm for 2 minutes.
Yep.
That's what you usually do when you're about to fall asleep, for sure. Whooping cough cases are on the rise. Yes. Yeah. Whooping cough cases on the rise. Tom, there's probably another thing that you're going to get this year. I'm sure you'll probably get whooping cough. The whooping cough cases on the rise globally. There's been a surge. And child respiratory disease on the uptick. CDC. Do you need a booster for this, Tom?
No, I hope not.
Well, just go get the COVID vaccine.
No.
Right?
What? They have a vaccine for that? I
know.
know.
Just
they
get
have
the COVID.
I know they have gene therapy.
Yeah, that's a little different. Yes. By the way, there is actually a vaccine for whooping cough.
And there is an actual COVID vaccine, but it's an animal vaccine.
Oh.
They created one years ago. They're the head of the department at the University of Mississippi is one of the guys that worked on it for the cows, right? Because COVID has been around for a long time in cattle. And so they have a vaccine for cattle, but it's only about 65% effective. And they've had that for about 15 years.
And the gene therapy is more effective than that, said nobody ever.
Yeah, it's not. The gene therapy is not a vaccine.
No. All right, we got to get to the boob of the day. Before I get to the boob of the day, I want to talk about the Biden tax increase. I want you to listen up about the Biden tax increase. You know, when the economy is terrible, do you think it's time to do a tax increase, another burden on the working people? I mean, I was quite surprised when I first heard about this because I said, this goes against Politics 101. When things are bad, and especially when you're not doing good in the polls, to increase taxes is a no-no. Who are they going to tax? Here's a report on that.
Trump campaign, they are blasting President Biden's recent budget proposal. Like you said, they're claiming it's going to result in the largest tax hike ever. And they said this, it would, quote, take nearly $40,000 away from the average American family who is already losing thousands every year due to Biden's record high inflation crisis. Now, for context, Biden's proposal takes aim at the wealthy and corporations. It calls for a minimum 25% tax hike for households making over $100 million. It raises the corporate tax rate from 21% to 28%. But if you think about it, that could have a trickle-down effect. So there was a recent study by the Tax Foundation. It predicts this could result in a 2.2% drop in economic output. Wages could be slashed by 1.6%, and close to 800,000 full-time jobs would go away.
So haven't we learned anything from California? Because when you tax the wealthy, they just move.
Mm-hmm.
So a wealthy person can set up corporations anywhere in the world. They can go to Ireland, who is not a high tax country. They can put it offshore. Mm-hmm. They can do all kind of stuff. How much revenue will we will lose because the Biden administration's not smart enough to figure out exactly what happened to California?
Well, they're in bed with Gavin Newsom, and they don't see anything wrong with what they're doing.
Oh,
it doesn't have anything to do with figuring it out. They are simply blind to it. Like it's not possible for them to figure it out because they don't believe there's anything wrong with it.
Right. So worker bees, they are going to keep taxing you and taxing everything. Until you find the intestinal fortitude to say, I'm done. Enough.
It's why they want to take your guns now, so you can't say enough is enough later.
Amen. All right, 838, Boob of the Day coming up next. Morning show being brought to you by WWRV times3.com. Yes, they have 3 RV parks in Carlsbad, 162 hookups. all coming with 30 and 50 amps, all coming with high-speed internet and all your utilities for one low price. They're pet-friendly, very, very well lit at night, just a quiet place to lay your head. This is for the working folks. 988-0392, WWRB times 3.com. Tom on the text, Boob up next.
All right, guys, life here is going to become like the movies, The Demolition Man, The Hunger Games, and The Purge all rolled up into one for our future. That's what we have to look forward to, the way things are going and will continue to go. If we don't make a change, wake up. We already had an outbreak, says the text.
That's what I'm saying.
And, Tom, don't let them give you a hard time. I've had some good naps in parking lots, says the text. Okay.
Keep going.
Yeah.
And another
I can't wait till they Narcan him.
It'll happen one day.
It will. I've been saying it. They will stop, and they will think that your overdose, hit him again, hit him again, hit him again. And then they'll bring out the paddles.
They're crazy. I had a dream I was conscripted back into the armed forces because they needed people to train all the newbies that were selected to a new draft. Could this be a prophetic dream? This one text is asking.
Could be.
Oh, I thought that was Tom saying he was going to train.
No. That was the text dream.
Here, this is the way you take a nap anywhere, okay? Just close your eyes.
And how far does Tom live from Bob's? It depends on what route.
5 minutes most.
If I come through the truck route, it takes me a couple minutes.
3 minutes.
Yeah.
It's a 3-minute drive.
It ain't far from my house.
Max.
Keep going, Tom. Here,
whatever.
you're not going to read this, so I'll read it. Only the only reason they thought Tom was dead was because of the smell coming from the car.
Oh, that's crazy. That's not you right. And there you go, B.
You ain't wrong.
There you go, buddy. B.
All right, we got to get to the boob of the day, being brought to you by Desert Functional Medicine and Aesthetics, medical professionals on staff. And living in pain, there is a solution. Go talk to them about stem cell therapy, ozone therapy, hormonal optimization. They can take care of you. It all begins with a deep dive in your blood work, finding out exactly what is going on with your body. Sometimes you have to listen to your body to figure it all out. Desert Functional, you can find them 3900 North Lovington Highway, and of course online at thedesertfma.com, doing things like hormonal optimization, testosterone, and of course if you're in pain, they can take care of that for you. Check them out today, and proud sponsor of the Boob of the Day.
Some places don't accept American Express. Some don't accept cash. And this place didn't accept meth. A 40-year-old man in Colorado named Eugene Robertson was found guilty of multiple charges, including a bizarre interaction at a Burger King in 2022. He had gone through the drive-thru, and he offered to pay with a baggie of drugs instead of money. So the employee refused. Eugene pulled a gun on him. Now, Eugene didn't shoot. He drove off. But then he tried pulling a similar stunt at a 7-Eleven across the street. A witness later told police that there was, quote, something off about Eugene, and he was, quote, talking about God and carrying a Bible with a purple cover. So he pulled the gun on the 7-Eleven employee and did fire that time. A witness pulled out a gun and fired back, and there was a brief gunfight, but no one was hit. Eugene did shoot out a surveillance camera, though. I guess he didn't want to be seen on camera. Eugene drove off again. 15 minutes later, he was shooting into an apartment where a friend lived. A woman who lived there said Eugene knocked, but she didn't want to open the door. The police showed up, found Eugene hiding in the bushes, and he was arrested. The cops asked if he was okay, and Eugene said he wasn't physically hurt, but his feelings were hurt.
Oh, pobrecito.
This is a long rap sheet for one night, but Eugene has warrants out on additional cases that are still open. For this case, he was convicted of first-degree murder with an extreme indifference menacing, reckless endangerment, illegally discharging a firearm, possession of methamphetamine, and harassment. Oh, attempted first-degree murder, not first-degree murder. He is facing more than 400 years in prison.
Wow.
Eugene Robertson, you're the boo of the day.
And by the way, this guy could go down. Look at his face. The sheriff, Chaves County Sheriff, just releasing this story. It happened about 9:12 last night. Deputies from the Chaves County Sheriff's Office were called to a location in Midway. The calling party advised a male subject had broken into his residence, and they were holding him for the deputies. Yeah, Miguel Barreto was identified as the subject who had burglarized the residence, and he was placed under arrest. By the way, they had to take him to Eastern New Mexico Medical Center to get a medical evaluation. You can see the bruises and cuts on his face. Evidently, the people that he broke into their house, evidently, he just wouldn't stop moving.
Wow.
Yeah. Boy, that's a quick way of getting shot.
Yes.
At most people's house. By the way, he's alive and kicking. Great job to the homeowners and the Chaves County, of course, Sheriff's Office. All right, 8:45, we're going to take a break. 877-396-W105. I still got a lot of things to talk about. Lubbock is ranked one of the top 20 best cities to start a business. I've got that story and a whole bunch more coming up. So stand by. And the Biden administration is actually, they're filing charges against a convenience store.
Of course they are.
But he was at the convenience store last week. But they're charging the convenience store with discrimination. So we'll get to that. And you remember the 140 migrants that caused a riot?
Yes.
Looks like they're walking away scot-free.
Of course they are.
So we'll talk about that and more. Our number 877-396-W105. Be on the Breakfast Club. Getting you updated with news being brought to you by State Representative District 61, Randy Pettigrew, reminding you that, during COVID, he was there for you. He was fighting to get your kids back in school. He was fighting to get the businesses open. Every time he went to Santa Fe, for every legislative session, he has continually fought for our way of life in Southeast New Mexico, oil and gas industry, for our kids, to protect the unborn, and to protect your Second Amendment rights. Randy Pettigrew needs your help. He needs donations, if you could, to his campaign, and he needs your vote. Find out more information, RandallPettigrew.com. Message paid for by Randall Pettigrew, running for District 61 State Representative. And, of course, RandallPettigrew.com for more information. 8:47, taking a break. We are B and the Breakfast Club, W105 KWMW, Maljamar.
Call now. Thank you for calling.
Bob Stripway in Lovington presenting the Cash Blowout Contest on W105. This is the Cash Blowout Contest on W105.
Call now.
Call now.
News brought to you by Stone Oilfield Services in Lovington. Getting the job done right every time since 2004.
Proudly serving most phases of the oil field process, Stone Oilfield Services has a fleet of over 60 trucks and a workforce of over 100 employees. From water transport to kill and vac truck operations, flowback services and pit filling to the clean out of rigs and tanks, as well as oiling and acidizing, Stone Oilfield believes in getting the job done right every time. Their central motto, do what you say you can do. Call them today at 575-396-1840. That's 396-1840.
MTD Radio News, I'm Joe Miller. Well, will bills that actually improve public safety make the cut, or is the governor simply looking to prop up some candidates he hopes to see elected? That's the question many Lee County legislators asking after it was announced Wednesday of last week. Governor Grisham calling for a special session beginning July 18. Rumblings of a special session began even before this year's 30-day session was over, and many expected it would happen, and consensus was it would happen within a few weeks of the end of the 30-day session. Grisham claiming the session will take up additional public safety protections to allow lawmakers to finish what they started during the 30-day session. City of Carlsbad mulling options to replace the North Mesa Senior Center. A local charitable organization wishing to remain anonymous offered to secure a land donation, working with the Carlsbad Department of Development for a new senior center, the Cascades of Carlsbad. There have not been additional discussions between the City of Carlsbad and the private donor. Proposed senior facility would be near the Carlsbad Adult Respite Facility at 201 Cascades Avenue. Carlsbad man accused of trafficking fentanyl and methamphetamine from Albuquerque sentenced to 20 years in federal prison as one of 12 people charged in a joint investigation last spring. 44-year-old Manuel Montoya charged with possessing with intent to distribute 4 kilograms of fentanyl and about 7 kilograms of meth, and distributing 186 grams and 1.5 kilograms of the drugs, respectively. In April and May of last year, a confidential source told police Montoya agreed to provide the drugs and traveled to Artesia to deliver meth and fentanyl and sold them out of his home in Carlsbad. Montoya also drove to Albuquerque to get more drugs to sell in southeast New Mexico. And that's what's happening. I'm Joe Miller, MTD Radio News.
This is Senator Stephen McCutcheon. Our way of life is under attack every day by the radical progressives in Santa Fe. Politicians like to talk, but I'm fighting for our community day in and day out to defend the values we hold dear. As a rancher, oil and gas contractor, and conservative fighter, I'm defending our way of life. I fought to secure the border, increased penalties for drug cartels, stood up to the woke left in Santa Fe trying to take our guns away, but I'll never let them. That's why I'm proud to be the only candidate in the campaign for Senate District 42 endorsed by the National Rifle Association, because I'll always fight for our God-given rights. And my very first act as your senator was to impeach Michelle Lujan Grisham. My values are deeply rooted in our community. As a father of 4, I'm fighting to make New Mexico better for the next generation. I'd be honored to have your vote in the Republican June 4th primary. Paid for by Stephen McCutcheon for Senate.
Lee County, it's the largest gun and knife show 505 Productions has ever had in Hobbs, and it's this weekend at the Lee County Event Center. Saturday, April 27th from 9 to 5, and Sunday, April 28th from 10 to 4. Over 195 tables available to shop with guns, knives, ammo, scopes and other gun accessories, jewelry, hides, gold and silver, 2A shirts and merch, and much more. Admission is just $7 per day or $10 for both. Kids 12 and under are free. This is the last show before the 7-day waiting period goes into effect. Don't miss the 505 Productions Gun Show this Saturday and Sunday at the Lee County Event Center, 5101 North Lovington Highway in Hobbs.
Don't miss the 3rd annual Wads for Warriors Clay Shoot scheduled for April 26th and 27th in Artesia at the Eddy County Shooting Range. Come out for 2 days of prize boards, live auctions, gun boards, and of course, clay shooting. All proceeds from this event will benefit the Permian Warrior Partnership as well as local veterans charities. They're also raffling off a 2024 Polaris Ranger Crew. Wads for Warriors is the largest clay shoot in southeast New Mexico. Purchase raffle tickets or register your team by visiting wads4warriors.com. That's WADZ, the number 4, warriors.com.
Free books. Bring your family to the Halagüeño Arts Park in Carlsbad on May 11th from 8 a.m. to noon. The Passport to Adventure literacy event will also include free hot dogs, science kits, fun reading, and STEM activities for kids pre-K through 5th grade. Come join the Passport to Adventure, Saturday, May 11th from 8 a.m. to noon. This ad paid for through the City of Carlsbad's lodger's tax.
Get new ink in Hobbs today. The Lazy Lantern Tattoo is now open for bookings and walk-ins. Come into 4401 North Grimes and check out the artists' portfolios. Multiple styles of tattoos available. You can also find the Lazy Lantern Tattoo on Facebook. If the tattoo needle is calling you by your full government name, get in touch with the Lazy Lantern. 4401 North Grimes and Hobbs. Valid ID and deposit required to book appointments.
At Coffee Drilling LLC, they offer a wide range of drilling services from small domestic water to agricultural and monitor wells. In addition to mud and rotary drilling, Coffee Drilling offers services to pre-existing wells as well as troubleshooting of pumps and all control systems. Call Coffee Drilling today to schedule your routine maintenance or see about an upgrade to your water system. Call 505-270-1767. That's 505-270-1767. Coffee Drilling LLC, over 20 years experience and serving all of Hobbs, Lovington, and Eunice.
Hello everyone, I'm State Representative Catherine Brown. I serve Carlsbad, Otis, Loving, Malaga, and Eunice in the State House of Representatives. I'm running for re-election and I'm asking for your support once again. I'm on the front lines in Santa Fe fighting hard for families, schools, and businesses. I vigorously defend constitutional rights, including the right to keep and bear arms. I strongly support local industries such as oil and gas, potash, nuclear, ranching, and agriculture. Please vote for me, Catherine Brown, on June 4th.
Paid for by Committee to re-elect Catherine Brown. David Fritchie, Treasurer.
Southwest Symphony invites you to join them for their final concert of the 23-24 season on Saturday, April 27th. Come out to the RN Tidings Auditorium in Hobbs at 7 p.m. for Bridge and Wolak. For over 10 years, Bridge and Wolak have had a ball twisting up classical, world music, and improv comedy with their clarinet and accordion combination. Their 2022 Bach to Benny tour made stops in 5 Canadian provinces and 20 U.S. states. Now they are bringing Bach and Benny to Hobbs, New Mexico. This entertaining duo will capture your heart with their whimsical take on the classics and jazz. Tickets can be purchased at Music World, Q Systems Music and Sound, online, or at the door. 18 and under, as well as college students with current ID, get in free. That's Bridge and Wolak, Saturday, April 27th at 7 p.m. at the RN Tidings Auditorium in Hobbs. Sponsored by Chevron.
I want to wake America up.
Be in the Breakfast Club, broadcasting from the Inn of the Mountain God studio. Text line at 877-396-W105. Powered by Amigo Machinery, your Kubota dealer. Question of the day brought to you by Lovington Auto Supply, your Napa dealer.
I got to keep wearing it, but don't tell them I didn't have it on when I walked in.
5 minutes away from 9 o'clock, W105. LeBron James went down again yesterday. LeBron... went into a rant after the buzzer beater loss to the reigning champions, the Nuggets of Denver. Anything to make LeBron cry. I am good.
I know, right? That man goes
Anything.
to tears so fast.
Oh, yeah, just crazy. By the way, I was looking at the peaceful protesting from last night. Police were out there. I saw fires lit. I saw all kinds of demonstrations. I saw young people fighting the police.
Yes.
Unlike what AOC had to say.
Well, but you have to remember, anything that is violent against their opponents, they call peaceful.
Very peaceful.
Yes. But anything that's actually peaceful, if they don't like it, they call it violent. And I know it's hard for normal thinking, sane people to wrap their minds around. But
yeah, definitely.
But liberalism is a mental disorder, and I will keep saying that because it's true.
By the way, the judge warning the Trump defense team they're losing all credibility amid the gag order proceedings. So I think if you're going to institute a gag order, I think it has to be a gag order from both parties.
Yes.
Most of it.
You cannot allow Alvin Bragg to do his hocus pocus,
or the witness Michael Cohen, who's calling Trump names,
right?
And you should have the ability to defend yourself, I would think.
Yes.
I would think that it shouldn't just go one way.
That's not a fair trial.
No, not fair, but what can we expect?
But you know what they'll end up doing, right, B? They're going to end up putting him in jail for contempt of court.
They won't put him in jail.
No.
They'll throw him in.
I'm telling you, they will not jail a former president.
No.
They're going to throw him in there if he doesn't shut up.
No, they're not.
No,
they won't. They will find him until they find him. No, they won't throw him in jail. Unseen Sopranos footage returned featuring James Gandolfini,
the late James
and
Gandolfini.
Edie Falco.
Right.
And their iconic characters has surfaced after lying dormant for over a decade. Tom, what was The Sopranos about?
He was a mobster guy.
Yeah, he's a mobster. Yes.
But in
What
the
was his
final,
name?
but in the final episode, it was the cliffhanger. Did he get knocked off by one of his enemies?
What was his name?
His name was Soprano.
Yeah, what was his first name?
What was it, Frank? One
Frank, yes. Frank. That sounds like an Italian name.
Or Sonny.
Or could it be Tony?
Tony.
Hey, Tony, what's up,
In the
Tony?
neighborhood.
Yeah, it was right there.
Frank and Sonny, not in the neighborhood.
No,
You're
not
Italian,
even
you are.
close.
And what do you know about being Italian, Tom?
I like pizza.
Yeah, that make you Italian. I mean, if we go by that logic, you're a burrito.
No, that's racist, B. That's cold.
Oh, you started it with
How
the whole
is that
pizza
racist?
thing.
That's racist, man. Just because
That
you're
I said
Hispanic.
you're a soda?
You said that Italian is pizza. That's racist.
No, I said I like to eat pizza.
And I said, if that was the case, you'd be a soda. Why would that be racist?
You said burrito, dude.
Well, burrito. Okay. Burrito.
It's not any more
So
racist
why would
than
that
what
be
you said.
racist, but you're Italian because you like pizza's not racist?
I don't eat burritos. Maybe egg burrito. Breakfast burritos.
I have witnesses that would say otherwise.
Yeah. There's a reason why you're passed out at Bob's Thriftway. Soda Wars
It was
heating up.
burritos.
Pepsi just dropped 2 flavors, the lime Pepsi and the peach
Really?
Pepsi. Meanwhile, Coca-Cola is rolling out 2 new flavors, and Sprite is rolling out the Sprite Chill, which is a cherry lime tasting. Yeah. And
Give me
it
a
comes in
Sprite,
both
dude.
regular and diet.
Right.
I have never understood any of the love affair for all these flavors.
Nope.
If I'm going to drink a Coke, it's just a Coke. That's just me. Bidenomics is working. Rite Aid is closing 13 more stores. Both of them. All 13 closing. By the way, there was a list of all the stores that were closing. This Bidenomics is working. If the goal is shutting businesses down, it is working like a charm. Lubbock ranks in the top 20 best cities to start a business, according to Wallet Hub. So Texas led the U.S. in job growth in March,
right,
breaking records for jobs. And Texas, looks like Lubbock, Texas, falls into the criteria in the top 10 for the best places to start a business.
Wow.
Lubbock is, of course, fast growing. They place 16th in the overall study, and some of the metrics they look at is startup per capita, financing availability, and Lubbock ranked number 1 in industry, variety, and job growth.
Wow.
In the nation.
Wow.
So Lubbock, according to Wallet Hub, is a great place to live.
Well, it's been
If
growing
I-
for a while, too.
Yeah, and if I was going to, move back to the States and I wasn't going to live in New Mexico, I was going to live in Texas, Lubbock would be my choice. Number 1.
Your boys live there.
My boys live there. My doctors are there. It and I love Lubbock.
Yeah, I love
I don't know if I would live in Lubbock. I would probably live in outlying smaller community because Tom, that's just the way I am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See,
Good country boy.
I love Lubbock, but if we were to move from this area, I would go home.
Yeah.
So, and that's down in the Coastal Bend area.
Yeah. El Paso County Court. Judge Ruben Morales found no problemo and no probable cause from the state of Texas to restrain 100 140 migrants, and that they're
not migrants; they're illegal immigrants.
Yeah, but for the riots,
rioters.
So he dismissed all 140 charges against the migrant involved in that alleged. We saw it on video. What are you talking about? Alleged riot at the U.S.-Mexican border when they cut the damn fence down.
It was more.
So
of a
they
riot
don't even
than
get
January
destruction
6th.
of public property. If I was a resident of El Paso, I would be asking Judge Ruben Morales, what the hell's going on with you? The decision by Judge Morales does not mean these migrants can't be charged with riot participation in the future. You've released them back in the United States. They're gone in the wind. Never to return to El Paso.
Oh, they might, but it will be in the commission of a crime.
Well, and under a different name. Who's to say they've given you the right name?
Right.
Body cam video. I don't know if you saw this. We had this story a while back where the man goes to the courthouse, threatened to kill a judge with an axe.
Oh, yeah, the axe.
Remember that case? And so they released the video. And I'm just saying, do not take an axe to a gunfight. You've got multiple judges in the courthouse. You think they're going to let you in the courthouse with an axe? Evidently, you didn't think this over. You really didn't. Crazy. India. The Indian Supreme Court on Friday chose to reserve judgment on others. They were going to rule on, is it permissible to watch child pornography? And they ruled that it is not a crime in India to watch child pornography. Does that come as a surprise?
A little bit, yeah. And
yeah.
Those people need to be taken to the woodshed.
So India's Protection of Children from Sexual Offenses Act of 2012 criminalizes using children to create pornographic material. But the Supreme Court in India said that, they're not going to punish people for watching child porn. I guess they didn't think that, the kids they were used in filming of the child porn were actually injured.
For life.
Yeah, for life, most definitely. All right, Tom on the text. Hey, it's already 9:06. 9:06. We are B and the Breakfast Club morning show being brought to you by Janko Janitorial, 324 West Main in Artesia, full-service janitorial company. They can take care of all your cleaning, industrial, commercial, and all-field cleaning. They also have cleaning supplies. If you need cleaning supplies, they have commercial-grade cleaning supplies. Call Amber this morning, 575-703-1869. Find them at jancojanitorial.com. Tom?
All right, so Mama Bear says the cherry lime Sprite sounds a lot like it would make a good mixed cocktail. She says, okay.
Little rum in there.
Yeah. And, guys, let's not forget that AOC feared for her life on January 6th from that violent mob when she wasn't even there. I mean, that was peaceful protest, which just goes to show you they don't know peaceful versus violence from a hole in their ASS, says John from Muse.
100%, John.
Ass, Tom. Ass.
Yeah.
It's ass. Yes, it's a big old ass. Yes.
And if you have time and want to hear the very disturbing news, check out Glenn Beck's podcast last Friday. It should get everyone's attention because the BS media will not let this out. It's gut-wrenching, says the texter this morning.
What was the news?
I've never seen it. It's on the podcast.
Okay.
I have to disagree one tiny bit with Blake. Those nasty turds in Indiana.
As we just showed you,
don't want to go to the
what?
BASTARDS in India. Don't need to go to the woodshed. They need to go to the train station, says the texter. I don't
Or
like it.
All this spelling kind of confuses me.
Firing squad.
It really
I'm good
does.
with.
I mean, I have to stop and think. Ass is not a cuss word, Tom.
Nope.
Cuss word to me.
There are 7 words you cannot say.
Bastard is not a cuss word.
It is to me.
No.
Crap
Do
is
you know
not
the
a cuss word.
Do you know the
Crap's not good.
definition of the word bastard?
What should I define it for? You know what it is.
Which means you don't.
Which, well,
Yeah, evidently.
That's why I sent it to you, Cyclopedia. So tell us what it is.
I'm not.
All right. Climate activists have new targets in mind. Major summer protests. They want to make your lives miserable.
Yes.
They want to go to baseball games. In fact, the congressional baseball game scheduled for 5 p.m. at National Park in Washington on June 12th. They're saying they're going to be there. They're also going to be at Major League Baseball games and protesting. At what point do we say, enough? Enough. All we came here for is to watch a baseball game. I mean, you want to turn me off, even if I was like climate change, shut up.
Mm-hmm.
Even if I didn't completely was, against climate change. I would be after you get finished messing up my trip with my kids to the baseball game. We have a bunch of unruly kids. You know why? Because they have too much damn time on their hands. When we were going to college, we worked and went to college.
Yep.
None of these kids are working and going to college. They've got too much damn time on their hands. Climate change, Palestine, you name it, they'll protest it.
And they don't know the difference anymore between a protest and basically a riot.
Yeah, no doubt. That's why they need to bring out the water cannons again. That clears people out fairly quick. It does.
Bullets?
Yeah, rubber bullets, water cannons, all of that. Man accused of illegally selling guns in Albuquerque appeared in federal court. Man accused of legally buying guns and then turning around and selling the guns to people that couldn't get guns was in federal court yesterday morning in Albuquerque. Albuquerque Police Department said the weapons he bought were connected to 17 different shootings. See, this is the stuff that the governor doesn't think about. Federal documents show that this guy went and bought guns at a lot of stores and then resold the guns at a higher price. And those guns are now connected to 17 different shootings.
Wow.
Yeah.
They didn't get the memo.
Yeah, did not get the memo, Tom. Did not. All right, we got good news of the day coming up. Blake, we got to take one more break and then come back and do good news.
Yes. Yes.
We'll do that. Keep you updated. Tom, anything else?
All right, so this texter says, Mama Bear says bear spray. I don't know what she meant by that. And Robbie Landry is tuning in. He said, be all those kids get jobs that get paid $20, but I was an hour to protest, says Robbie Landry. That's what he texted in.
I think Mama Bear was saying she wants to name her drink with that mixture of bear spray.
And most kids in college go to school, however, mine are in the doctorate school at UNM taking 17 credits and working, too, says the text.
Many are not. Many are not. Many are getting food stamps and welfare and all kind of other stuff.
And Lovington Liberal chimes in. Blake, you are jealous because us liberals are the future. Biden 2024.
Not jealous at all.
The future of what? I mean,
the demise of America.
Backing Biden 2024 if we can survive.
They want to fundamentally do away with the United States of America. You tell me how that's an improvement.
So that means that Lovington Liberal is also the enemy. Okay, I'm trying to keep up here. Okay? I'm just trying to keep up.
We got to take a break.
Thank you. All right, we got to take a break. We're coming back. We're going to talk about blood pressure on the way and dementia and the Biden administration. I got to do the story about him suing the convenience store. Well, the administration suing the convenience store, even though he was just there on a campaign stop. That makes zero sense. All right, let's get updated, find out what's going on with news. We're coming right back. News being brought to you by Narstar Laundry, your one-stop shop for all your laundry. They can meet all of your needs. Wash, dry, and fold. They can start you up. They can keep you looking good. And they can, if you want to do all the washing and drying and folding yourself, they have coin-operated machines at all of their locations. Narstar Laundry, find them in Carlsbad, 609 West Lee Street and 604 West Church Street, and in Loving at 406 West Cedar. Narstar Laundry, check them out today. 9:15, good news of the day. Up next, we're Beyond the Breakfast Club.
Call now. Thank you for calling.
Bob Swiftway in Lovington presenting the Cash Blowout Contest on W105. This is the Cash Blowout Contest on W105.
Call now. Call now. Fox News, I'm CJ Papa. Prosecutors want to muzzle Donald Trump this morning at a hearing before Judge Juan Merchan. They're determined if Mr. Trump violated gag orders, so the prosecution wants a $1,000 fine for each social media post, but didn't ask for jail time. Fox's Eric Shawn has more on an upcoming witness.
Well, Michael Cohen is expected to be the star witness who will testify about what prosecutor Matthew Colangelo told the jury yesterday was the criminal election conspiracy carried out by Trump and the National Enquirer publisher David Pecker to corrupt the 2016 presidential race by helping to suppress news of Trump's sex scandals.
Workers at NYU drilling plywood barricades this morning around the business school. Protests Monday at that campus, as well as Yale, Columbia, Harvard, UC Berkeley, other institutions around the country. The flashpoints for anti-Israel protests. America's listening to Fox News.
Announcing town hall meetings to discuss existing Eddy County Courthouse and its preservation and proposal of new Eddy County complex consisting of new detention center, new courthouse, and new administration facilities building. Town Hall Meeting 1 will be held Wednesday, April 24th from 6 to 8 p.m. at the Eddy County Courthouse, located at 102 North Canal. The meeting will be held on the 3rd floor in courtroom number 1, the large courtroom. You can access the Zoom meeting via QR code at co.eddy.nm.us. Town Hall Meeting 2 will be held Monday, April 29th from 6 to 8 p.m. at the Artesia City Hall, located at 511 West Texas. The meeting will be held in City Council chambers. Again, access the QR code Zoom meeting link at co.eddy.nm.us. The public is invited to submit questions in advance to the following email address by Tuesday, April 23rd at 5 p.m. You can email ajones@co.eddy.nm.us.
This is Senator Stephen McCutcheon. Our way of life is under attack every day by the radical progressives in Santa Fe. Politicians like to talk, but I'm fighting for our community day in and day out to defend the values we hold dear. As a rancher, oil and gas contractor, and conservative fighter, I'm defending our way of life. I fought to secure the border, increased penalties for drug cartels, stood up to the woke left in Santa Fe trying to take our guns away, but I'll never let them. That's why I'm proud to be the only candidate in the campaign for Senate District 42 endorsed by the National Rifle Association, because I'll always fight for our God-given rights. And my very first act as your senator was to impeach Michelle Lujan Grisham. My values are deeply rooted in our community. As a father of 4, I'm fighting to make New Mexico better for the next generation. I'd be honored to have your vote in the Republican June 4th primary. Paid for by Stephen McCutcheon for Senate.
Come out Friday, May 3rd and Saturday, May 4th as the Smokey Bears Hometown Association, Smokey Bear Historical Park, and the Village of Capitan celebrate Smokey Bear's 80th birthday. Smoky Bear Days is a 2-day fun-filled event celebrating Capitan's bear that changed history. This event will have food trucks, vendors, a Rudy Wendland art exhibit, educational events, a climbing wall, drama class play, folk music festival, rock painting, bike rodeo, silent auction, and a parade down Smoky Bear Boulevard. They'll also have a tractor show and kids tractor race, Mescalero Family Time dancers, a cornhole tournament, and a firefighter challenge. Following the parade on May the 4th, there'll be a birthday cake celebration in honor of Smoky Bear. For more information, find them on the web at www.smokybeardaycapitannm.com or call 575-631-6964. This ad is paid for by the Village of Capitan Lodgers Tax.
Don't miss the 3rd annual Wads for Warriors clay shoot scheduled for April 26th and 27th in Artesia at the Eddy County Shooting Range. Come out for 2 days of prize boards, live auctions, gun boards, and of course, clay shooting. All proceeds from this event will benefit the Permian Warrior Partnership as well as local veterans charities. They're also raffling off a 2024 Polaris Ranger crew. Wads for Warriors is the largest clay shoot in southeast New Mexico. Purchase raffle tickets or register your team by visiting wads4warriors.com. That's WADZ, the number 4, warriors.com.
Honey, what are you doing? It's 4 a.m.
Well, I'm making a big breakfast for you and the kids. We got to get going this morning. It's a long drive to Midland Airport.
I booked our flights out of our airport here in Hobbs. It's in town, not in Texas.
Well, you want some toast?
Is that strawberry?
Organic boysenberry.
I'm going back to bed.
Love you.
Flying in and out of Hobbs gives you more time and less stress. So when it's time to fly, you gotta fly Hobbs.
Chow Cowboy Days is coming April 26th and 27th with live entertainment and fun for the whole family during this free community event. Shop lots of vendors starting at 5 p.m. Friday the 26th with live music from Maximo Norte and La Fuerza del Bravo starting at 7 p.m. Then Saturday the 27th, enjoy a full day of cowboy events including a Dutch oven cook-off, cattle drive down Main Street, calf branding, blacksmith demonstration, Little Buckaroo's Western wear competition, a silent auction to benefit local stroke victim Harvey Tavares, and much more. Plus, Saturday night at 7:30, enjoy the Western sounds of Caitlin Butts. Don't miss Jow Cowboy Days, April 26th and 27th at Jow Lake Park. To become a vendor, call 575-308-9667.
Hello, I'm Deanne Kimbrough, and I want to be your next Lee County Commissioner, District 1. I'm running for Commissioner to ensure we maintain our conservative values and lifestyle that we currently enjoy here in Lee County. I've been a lifelong Republican, and I will work hard to maintain those values here in Lee County. It's important that you vote in the primaries June 4th, and I'm asking you to vote for Deanne Kimbrough.
Paid for by the committee to elect Deanne Kimbrough, Junior Hernandez, Treasurer.
This is Sheriff Corey Helton. Representative Larry Scott has a lengthy record of fighting illegal immigration and open border policies in New Mexico. Michelle Lujan Grisham is the most radically open borders governor in our state's history. Larry Scott has opposed her agenda time and time again. In 2019, Larry Scott voted against driver's license for illegal aliens, and in 2020 and 2021, he voted twice against professional licensure for illegals. He voted against free college for illegals in 2022 and again this year in 2024. Larry Scott's record on fighting to enforce the law and put legal citizens ahead of illegals is unimpeachable. I'm Lee County Sheriff Corey Helton, asking you to join me in voting for the law and order conservative candidate for the state Senate, Larry Scott, because he supports local law enforcement, supports your Second Amendment rights, and has the strongest record on the border.
Paid for by the committee to elect Larry R. Scott.
I want to wake America up.
Be in the Breakfast Club, broadcasting from the Inn of the Mountain Gods studio. Text line at 877-396-W105. Powered by Amigo Machinery, your Kubota dealer. Question of the day brought to you by Lovington Auto Supply, your Napa dealer.
I got to keep wearing it, but don't tell them I didn't have it on when I walked in.
All right, 9:22. Two stories to get to before we do the good news of the day. Obama's Passover message adds the Palestinians into the story.
Yes. Because,
by the way, he said nothing about hostages.
Of course not, but Obama is Muslim. Or,
yes.
You know, I mean, let's be honest here. Yes, he also goes to a Christian church, or did go to a Christian church. I don't know if he still does. But he was raised Muslim.
Yes. Spot on. 100%. So congratulations, Barry. Yeah, you and Mike have a great Passover. Biden administration hits Sheetz convenience stores with the whole chain with a lawsuit. Despite Joe Biden just making a campaign stop last week at Sheetz. Pennsylvania-based convenience store chain hit with a lawsuit by the Biden administration the same time the president stops at one of their locations on the campaign trail. Sheetz is accused of racial discrimination by the Equal Opportunity Employment Commission because of the company's hiring practice. Discriminates against minorities.
Does it?
I'm just going to be honest. Getting anybody to apply for a job today is pretty tough.
Right.
So you're trying to tell me they wouldn't accept minorities that wanted to go to work for them?
Yeah.
I'm finding that really hard to believe.
I think that's a lot of sheets.
I think they're full of sheets. No doubt. I think that, yeah, probably not true. All right, good news of the day coming up in a second. Morning show being brought to you by Butcher Block Meat Market and Grill. Find them in Lovington. If you haven't had breakfast yet, get in there for the burritos or one of their breakfast platters, including biscuits and gravy and many, many others. So, and if you're already had breakfast, get in there for lunch. They have a awesome lunch menu. Check out the daily menu by just liking their Facebook page. Find out the weekly meat special. Look, these guys have 30-plus years of experience in the meat market business. Then they rolled out the grill, and it's been a huge success. Yeah, they have the hamburger patties ready to go. They're frozen, ready to go. They've got jerky, like no other jerky around. Get in there and get some of that. They have smoked meats and more. Check them out on Facebook. Give them a call in advance, 575-739-7778 or 1422 South Main in Lovington. Tom, hurry up with the text.
All right. This text is saying, just moved to Santa Fe. This is Bradley from the block already. And he says, hey, it's a good fit with MLG. Oh, okay. Tracy from Roswell, or Travis from Roswell. I can't believe you don't have the rest of the story on the Biden administration suing the convenience store. It's because when he went there, somebody videotaped the whole thing being set up and all the employees being given a script to stick to. That's why he's having them sued, says Travis from Roswell. Yeah. The rest of the story.
Because they let the story out, that it was all scripted.
What it was. And Tom, hey, can I get a shout out to my boss, Cody K. from Lorenzo from the Fratch? Well, a shout out to you too. B.
All right, we got to get to the good news of the day this morning, being brought to you by Herschel Rustin Hayes, your Farmers Insurance agent, 1109 West Avenue D in Lovington, 575-396-0513, home, auto, life insurance, commercial insurance. Check them out today. Farmers Insurance agent, Rustin Hayes, proud sponsor of the good news of the day.
So I'm going to start with one. If you haven't seen this footage online, it's kind of nuts, so go check it out. A 71-year-old guy crashed his SUV on I-94 in Minnesota last Thursday. His driver's side doors were pinned shut by the guardrail, and his car caught fire. But random people rushed over to save him. They couldn't pry the doors open, but someone managed to smash out his window, and they got him out just in time. So no one was seriously hurt. And a 35-year-old guy in England just proposed to his girlfriend while he was running the London Marathon with a refrigerator strapped to his back. His name is Daniel Fairbrother, and he proposed at the 25-mile mark and finished the marathon while carrying a fridge in under 6 hours. Now, you might remember this guy from when the cops stopped him during a training run a few months back because they thought he was a burglar because he did the fridge thing to raise money for diabetes research. He's been trying to break the world record for the fastest marathon with an appliance strapped to your back, and it looks like he fell short of that time. But a big congrats on the engagement. And by
Tom,
the way,
I think you could probably do that.
Yeah. By the way, the record for the running a marathon with a appliance is 4 hours and 52 minutes. And another runner did break a world record. 19-year-old Lloyd Martin also ran in the London Marathon and became the youngest person with Down syndrome to complete a marathon. So that's pretty awesome. And since we're over in England, a couple named Jack Richardson and Bronwyn Tracy first met as babies in a hospital about 30 years ago. After they were both born premature. Now they're married and recently had a baby of their own. Their daughter, Sienna, just turned 1. And there is no note on whether she was also a preemie, but congratulations, and that is the good news of the day.
Tom would have an air filter on his back.
Yeah.
He couldn't finish 26 miles.
The list, there is an approved list of appliances if you want to try it so you don't just get like a toaster or something.
Right. Hey, B, we got a traffic alert from New Mexico DOT. They're repairing a guardrail on mile marker 370.
Can we finish the
going into Highway 70, going into Roswell. Were you through?
Good news of the day being brought to you by Herschel, Rust, and Hayes. Okay, Tom, go ahead.
All right, so the New Mexico DOT employee just called me, says, we're repairing a guardrail on mile marker 370 going into Roswell from Highway 70. So be careful. Slow down, he says, because they do have a lot of personnel working out there. So
Tom, you ever listen to the show?
Yeah.
When?
You have no idea how this works.
I don't.
Yeah. Been in the studio for the last 20 years, but...
I thought he was done. Apparently he wasn't. But that was an important notice to get out there, though, as well.
Thank you, Tom. God bless you.
Don't want nobody to get hurt.
Including people that are falling asleep and driving. That's for sure. God bless them. That guardrail could save them. That's for sure. By the way, New Mexico DOT, thank you guys for what you do.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, you guys have a good one. Tom, I need a break.
Take a break, man.
You have a few hours.
I'm gonna take a long break away.
Take a nap.
All right, let's get updated. Find out what's going on with news this morning. Being brought to you by Roach Air Conditioning and Heating. Your choice for your next HVAC job. Give them a call. Got air conditioning problems? 575-631-1999. They are who we call. Roach Air Conditioning and Heating. 575-631-1999. Call Enrique Rocha today. I'm out of here. Tradio's coming up next on W105.
News brought to you by Stone Oilfield Services in Lovington. Getting the job done right every time.